Yeah, so what I was saying was, are we working? Are we good to go? Yeah, no, I hadn't actually connected the microphone to OBS, but I think we're there now. Can I be heard? I know it's registering that I'm talking. Is it working now? Hello, everyone. You going live through the races like last year? I don't think so. I don't think through the races, but we will be doing before and after, which is something that I wasn't able to do a lot. But yeah, we are hopefully going to be doing a lot more stuff this year. Because I don't think we're gonna get sidestepped with a Twitch contract halfway through the year like last time. So I've logged into the wrong account for TweetDeck. Is that working now? That should it'll either work or it won't, to be honest. Hello everyone, how are you all doing? I hope you've all had a brilliant couple of weeks without me, but I'll tell you what, I'm back now to ruin your days. How's everyone doing? It works. Good. I like that. And Stroll crashed before season even started. I know. Okay. Now I'm not gonna like, joke about it, because it's really bad, and obviously, really happy that he is going to be okay for, to probably race this year. But the video of him being hit by Alonso, that edit that they've made, it's quite funny. If you haven't seen it, do search it up, because it's quite funny. It's bad, it's really bad. We shouldn't find it funny, but it is. But yeah, how's everyone doing? How is everyone doing? Hello Rook, hello Colin, hello Astra. Good to see some of you guys back. I have no plans for this stream basically whatsoever. I have some ideas of stuff we can do, but mostly this is just gonna be talking about yeah, I don't know. I mean, I normally shave before streams, right? So what's happened here is I wasn't planning to stream tonight, and because we've got a puppy now, I don't have time for anything. So the fact that I'm getting videos and stuff out, I'm pretty happy about. But no, I normally shave before streams. I don't like turning up to a stream with a strange mustache. But unfortunately, we've got that today. But yeah, I will also introduce the puppy to the streams at some point, but I think she's asleep at the moment. So there you go. Thoughts on Teletubbies? Love a bit of Teletubbies. Love it. Susan Heron, hello. How are you doing? So, okay, we'll go on. Stroll crash. Yeah. So, look, honestly, guys, hello. I hope you've all had, a great break without me. I see a lot of people still coming in, so we're just going to have a little bit of chat before we sort of get going with anything actually related to F1. Puppy revealed better than Livery. I agree. To be honest. She is, her name is Bella. She is a lovely little dog. Little Cocker Spaniel. Lovely little dog. I'll get some pictures of her or something, and I'll show you guys. She'll be on the stream. She'll be in videos and shorts and stuff. I'm gonna get her to do F1 related stuff. It'll be funny. I want to see if I can outpredict my dog in Formula One. I feel like that's a fun short series that I can have going through the year. It's put the 4 favorite drivers, see which one she goes to, and see if I can outpredict. I just think that's a fun game. I think I'm gonna do stupid stuff with her. She's funny. Puppy reveal the Puppy 1 chassis. Yeah. Sup my G, hello F1 racer, how you doing? Do I know Valentino? I don't know him personally. I don't know Valentino Rossi personally, but great buddies. The chat's not working. Is there meant to be a chat thing here? Did I put... There's meant to be a chat box here. No, that's the alert box. Okay, so why have I not put a chat box on this page? Right, cool. So what I've done, I've got a chat box here. We'll go with this. And then this is our polls tab, I think. That's what it's going to end up being. Okay, this is better. So we have the chat now. Will Aston perform well this year? I'm thinking so. For me, they're the team that's most likely to be a surprise. I still think we're maybe going to need 1 or 2 more years until they can compete a little bit more, because obviously the wind tunnel, those new facilities at Silverstone, they're still not fully online yet. So we're still having to wait for that before I think they can become completely competitive. But no, there's no reason this year why they wouldn't be, more competitive. They should be stepping it up now. They've got more staff coming in from, Red Bull, Mercedes. They should be doing well. This should be a good year for them. And if it's not, oh dear. Oh dear. So we've got there was... Does puppy paw pursue? I mean, the puppy, when she finds food, she does bounce a bit. So, I suppose it's close enough. I'm so happy we're back with streams. I know. I love doing the streams. I love doing the streams as well. So it's just, I like talking to everyone. So, yeah, I don't know. Is there testing today? No. So we have testing in 12 hours and 53 minutes. So that is how long until the test starts. It starts tomorrow morning at 6:50 UK time. I think it's 6. Well, it starts on like F1 at 6:50 on Sky Sports F1 at 6:50 UK time. I think the session starts at 7. We have 4 hours in the morning, a 1 hour lunch break, and then there's an hour. This is going well. This is why I do the videos. I can cut out this mistake. And then we've got a 4.5 session in the afternoon. So there's an extra half-hour session. I'm free from school tomorrow and Friday, so that's good. That's really lucky. I'm not. So I'm waking up at about 5:40 tomorrow, so I can do my commute to uni. And then I've got 2 hours of lectures to then come home again, and by that point it's literally the afternoon session. So yeah, it's rough. It's rough. So testing starts tomorrow. Yeah, I wish I was free from uni stuff tomorrow. That would be nice, but I'm not. It is. It's very early. It's really early. I don't know how far the stream is behind. That's something I've not seen. I've put it on low latency, but I don't know, because Twitch was really good with the latency. It was like really low delay between me talking and you guys hearing it. I've put it on low for this stream, but now I've started it, I can't change it. So, if it's a long delay, it's a long delay. We'll work around it. I think Merc will be just as bad. The car design feels similar. Yeah, it does. It does. I don't think there's a lot. I mean, there's not a lot different on that Mercedes for this year, because I still think fundamentally they're trying to get this no-pod concept to work. And we saw in glimpses on some of the smoother tracks last year that it could work. I feel like we definitely saw glimpses of that car potentially being good. Obviously, we never actually saw it get... Well, I mean, it was always a good car. There was a couple of times where they're battling the Haas's and so on, but that's when Haas was stronger at the start of the year, so it sounds worse than it was. It was always a decent car. It was never a terrible car. Obviously, I think the drivers would have liked it to be just that little bit quicker, but, I mean, it was in the contention for race wins on occasion, so they're there or thereabouts. They've only got to find a couple of tenths, and all of a sudden they're, regular podium, regular race winners, so it's not a lot of work for Mercedes to do. It is fine tweaking it, and there's some talk as well, apparently from, I think it was Crofty, said in an interview today, he said, Red Bull didn't actually have the fastest car, they just, knew how to get the best out of it. And I'm not sure I agree with that totally. I think that car probably in race spec especially was the quickest car. I think Ferrari was the quicker qualifying car, but in the races the Red Bull was quickest. It worked the tyres so much better. But yeah, he was saying that, and I thought it was really interesting, because the thing is, some of it, the delayed chat delay, but okay, for future streams, I'll put it on ultra low latency. It shouldn't make a massive difference. It's just gonna be a couple of seconds, one bit slow. Have I watched Step? I have no idea what Step Inside is. I have no idea at all. Do you remember when we saw on Twitch how much you get paid for YouTube? Yeah, no, but that was in a really good month. Trust me, we don't get that every time. I mean, it helps when I upload more than twice a month, to be fair, which I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be better. That is on. Oh, can you hear me in the echo? Did no one tell me there was an echo? Bradley, how many Night Gardens? I've seen a lot of In the Night Garden. I've seen a lot of In the Night Garden episodes, I tell you. Just praying Williams isn't as slow versus a pack like last year. No, I don't know. I think I would love to hold out hope for Williams and think they're going to do really well, but I'm sorry, I don't think they will. I just don't see Williams doing that well this year. Could you guys hear the echo? No, okay, right, yeah. I don't like testing to be at Bahrain, but apart from that in Spain, which track would be your choice? Oh, God, okay, we'll get onto that. We'll get onto that afterwards. But yeah, Williams, I think because they didn't have a technical director for so long, so many things just didn't go their way in this sort of pre-season period. It just feels like it's gonna be really tricky for them. But what we're gonna do, because I want to test out this poll feature that we've got. So I've got this that here. That's where the polls are gonna go. So let's have a look. Let's do which team will win the Constructors. Let's do that in 2023. Here we go. So we're gonna go for. Oh, okay, guys. are you guys happy with me putting 3 options in for this? You know, you can add a 4th team, but I don't think it's likely. If you guys want to put another one in, if you guys want to put a 4th one in, you can. You know, if we're all chucking like an Aston Martin, a McLaren, but I think I don't think that's quite necessary. Ferrari and Red Bull. Yeah, okay, we'll do those 3. So right now. Yeah, look at that. That's good stuff. And then there's also enough room for a 4th one. So now we have the live poll results at the bottom. If I do that. There we go. We have the live poll results at the bottom when I don't close it. Why isn't Haas an option? I don't know. I mean, I just think they're almost too obvious an answer that it just wouldn't be fair. It just wouldn't be fair, really. Sorry, what was the other question? So we know you don't like testing to be at Bahrain. I don't mind it being at Bahrain. That was sort of a bit more of a joke on the video. I hate that it's mostly because of money. Like, that is the main reason it's there. But, oh, Mercedes got a big chunk of the vote there so far. Wasn't expecting that. Ferrari getting no love at all. I know they're serial bottlers, but come on, guys, give them some. Okay, so does that not stay open? Because that's a problem if that doesn't stay open. Right, is there a way to make this stay open? Is that a thing? Oh dear. Well, okay, maybe this was ill thought out. I'm going to have to think of a different way of doing this. Unless I just sit here and keep clicking it every time. Okay, 4th Bradley. Merc, Ferrari, Red Bull. Yeah, I think that's a fair one. Ferrari, I chose Merc. Makes sense. What's your favourite team? My favourite team, so I'm a McLaren fan. I'm well, Jensen flag up there. Well, that was from Braun, so maybe Mercedes, I guess. But no, I've got a McLaren poster up there. That's actually I've got a McLaren thing here. Hang on, it's from I've got a McLaren merch purchase. Does that count? I don't know if that counts. I haven't got a lot of McLaren stuff actually, but I am a big McLaren fan. I always supported McLaren. Didn't get a lot of the merch recently because it's a bit rubbish. The merch has really gone downhill. And driver. So yeah, my favourite driver, Lando Norris. I followed him since karting. I went to a karting race and he was in like one of the tiers above. I was like, oh, who's that guy? And then I like followed him on Instagram or something. A couple of years later, I see him pop up again in some of the junior series, and I'm like, I remember you. So yeah, I've sort of followed him literally sort of from the start with his. Back in the house. Hello, HP. Hello. Imagine if Merc and Red Bull and Ferrari are tied in last team. I mean, that would be hilarious. That would be absolutely amazing. Can you know, Haas winning the championship, McLaren a close second because you've got to put them there. Let's put Williams third as well because it just makes me feel happier. I think I got distracted from the Williams answer. No, Williams this year, I think they might be even further behind. They didn't have a technical director for ages. Team principal obviously missing until very recently. It's going to be hard for them. Like there was almost no sort of senior leadership at the team, at least outwardly. Obviously they have like senior engineers and they'd have been sort of taking control at the time, but to have that sort of general operation, there wasn't anyone doing that for a while, or anyone in a permanent role. So. I'm not sure they're going to have a great year. Plus the funding and the facilities just aren't that great. You know, it's not even really their fault. It's definitely one for me that, you know, if we've got Williams with their facilities, you know, their recent form and all of that in the sport, we have to have Andretti. We have got to get Andretti into the sport. It's ridiculous if they don't. It's so bad. Williams won't win because no Latifi. I mean, what we say is no goatee. I keep forgetting to get the goatee cut out and put it on the wall behind me. I need to print that off. I think Jerez would be good for testing. Yeah, Jerez's a good one. I'm trying. The problem is with testing. Obviously, with the time of year that we're at, and it's sort of getting earlier each year because the season's getting longer. And normally you want to test in a hot country or European country. It's got to be one of those two. There's not a lot of options to choose from, so Bahrain is a good option. But I just like to see it at Barcelona. For me, Barcelona's the test track. I always wanted to go when I was younger. And then before the the cough hit, I don't know what YouTube's like if I use the P or C word on here. Not the rude ones, the cough ones. I don't know what YouTube does, so I'm just going to not say it. Yeah, before that, I always wanted to go. I was like, yeah, when I'm old enough and I have enough money, I'm going to do it. And now I am old enough and have enough money, and they're not doing it anymore. So that's really cool. I think, yeah, Jerez would be good. Go TV. My problem is that Magnussen will get a podium in the heart. Oh, your prediction. I can't read. My prediction is Magnussen will get a podium. I mean, just to spite Hulkenberg, probably, to be honest. Just so he can come back and go, no, suck my balls, honey. Suck my balls. I think they're going to be such a good vibe team. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I've got like such a small thing to read the chat from on here, because I'm having to use a second monitor that's also on split screen. So it's rough. This is rough. But it works. It works. Cool. How's the new video doing? I put that out. I'm just going to quickly just have a look at how the new video is doing. It's doing all right. Not groundbreaking, but it's doing all right. Not as good as yesterday's. That was really good. If Norris wins, how would I react? I mean, we were so close to it with Sochi 2 seasons ago. I think I remember. Wait, was it 2 seasons ago? Yeah, it was 2 seasons ago. So close with that, and I was no, it was 2 seasons ago. 21. I count back. It's not 2023, guys. It's not 2023. It can't be. Yeah, but no, I said no to Inters. Yeah. But I still blame McLaren for that mostly, because they did say the rain wasn't going to get any heavier. And, the rain got heavier. Yeah, bit miscommunication, I think, on that one. But no, I mean, I remember I was sitting there in my uni room. It was my first day in my uni accommodation. I was sitting there, I was like, yeah, all my flatmates were meeting up. I was like, no, Lando's on pole. I'm watching this. So I missed the first social event at my uni flat to watch that, and it was just depressing. I think I came out after the race ended and just sort of just sat on the sofa with everyone. I'm like, I'm just gonna cry myself to sleep tonight. It was rough. But no, it was all right overall. Did cry when Norris lost? I was very close to it. I sort of sat there for like 10 minutes after the race ended, just like, oh. Not great. It's like when England get knocked out of the tournament. You sort of know it's going to happen. You know they're never going to win anything. But there's a part of you that thinks, oh, maybe this time that no. How do you guys think the teammates at Alpine will get along? I'm hoping it's chaos. I want it to be chaos. I want as much chaos as possible in that team. Because they're French. No, kidding. Oh, not really, but because they're French. For me, Ocon and Gasly, and I don't know if this will be controversial or not, but they're probably the two most overrated drivers on the grid for me. Is that controversial? I don't know if that is controversial, to be honest. I think that's a fairly common take. If I looked at the grid without knowing anything about F1 and someone said to me, okay, which of these drivers have race wins, and then sort of showed me their careers without the results, I'd go, well, not those two. And they both do. And it's just like, how have they done that? How have they managed that win? Yeah, Ocon said they're not friends already a few days ago. I can't see them getting along. That's the thing. It's like, they can do as much PR friendly. Oh, we're friends now. It's all fine. But no, in the past, they had a lot going against each other. That's stuff that especially in a sporting environment, you sort of harbour that. You're like, no, I don't like that guy. I really don't like him. And then every time you're on track, you're like, no, I'm going to race him. And it's not something that goes away. You don't just sort of go, you know what, actually I'm friends now. Like, no, you have a bit of a resent for him. And Ocon came out and said, I'm going to fight Gasly as hard as I fought any of my teammates. That's how I've got where I have. I'm like, bro, I think it's a hindrance how hard you're fighting them, but okay, I'll sit back. He's a race winner and I'm not, so, I can't complain. Yeah, but Alpine, I think it's either going to be like just a pretty mediocre lineup where they're going to do okay, or it's just going to be absolutely chaotic and they're going to crash into each other every race. Like, they're either just going to be lower midfield or sort of lower points, or just in the wall literally every other race. It's going to go one of those ways. If McLaren flop on their car again this year, do you think we will hear true unrest with the team from Lando himself? I mean, it's something that I was so shocked we didn't get from Leclerc when Ferrari were poor for about 2 years. I thought we would hear from Leclerc. He wants to go elsewhere. He wants to go work for teams that are right at the top. Because when you have a driver of that caliber, you have to give them a car that can perform. Lando is lucky enough to be in a position now where he's got a rookie teammate who he's going to be sort of expected to help develop as a driver. But also the car's going to be built around him because it's a rookie coming in, you know. With Ricciardo and Norris, they were probably trying to sort of balance what's going to work best between two drivers. But no, you know, this year they were like, no, okay, we're going to develop for what Lando wants, really, because he's the main driver. He's the one consistency from 2022 to 2023 because obviously we have Oscar Piastri coming in. So for Lando, it's a bit of a mix. He's been in a fortunate enough position to have a team be built around him, and that's what he's going to have now. As long as he stays with the team, he should be the first driver there, unless Piastri absolutely blows him out the water this year. But I don't think that will happen. Piastri's great. I think he'll be really good. I think he'll be closer than what Ricciardo was, but I don't think he'll beat Norris. Yeah, no, I don't think he'll beat Norris this year. Maybe in a year or two's time, you know, it could be a little bit closer, but I think at the moment it should be Lando's, especially with how short testing is this year. That should mean Piastri isn't going to be at 100% right away, so that should give Lando sort of a few races head start, I'd say. Streaming tomorrow. I would love to stream tomorrow. I might, and this is might, okay? I might be able to do the afternoon session, but I'm not sure because... obviously with the puppy, which about 20 more people are in than when I last said it, we have a puppy now. With her and all of my family working, and with just me and her being here because I come back from uni from the morning when I'm in. If she's asleep, and yeah, I literally put her to sleep just before the session starts, there's a chance we could get most of the session in, and in that case I might go, yeah, okay, this might be worth streaming. But it'll be difficult. Friday I can't do any of. I'll try to do debriefs after each day that I can't do, sort of talking about it and looking at some of the data. If there's anything interesting to actually talk about, obviously there might genuinely just be nothing that interesting. In which case I'll do a video or do a short, something along those lines. Hello Faisal, how you doing? Puppy Dretty Motorsport, yeah, we'll have that. And then Saturday, I'm hoping I can get the whole day in. I'm hoping Saturday we can go right from the morning, little lunch break, and then in the evening. So fingers crossed that'll work, if the times sort of align that way. But I think worst case scenario would be afternoon session. So and that's mostly because if I can convince some of my family members to wake up early enough to sort of do everything with the dog in the morning so that I can do the stream. Rather than me having to get up early. Because I can't stream and look after the dog. That's just not really going to happen. Yeah, she's adorable. But yeah, pretty high maintenance. Pretty high maintenance at the moment. Hola, boa tarde. That's fun to say. I mean, I don't know what I just said, but it sounds fun. Thoughts about Aston. Thoughts about Aston Martin. For me, they're the team that are the most likely to make a big jump. If we're looking at the running order from last year, they're the team who I think as a percentage of points are going to have the biggest jump. I think that's yeah, no, I'm pretty confident saying that. So what time is it in the UK? At the moment, it is 6:24 p.m, but testing starts at 7 a.m. in the UK. So obviously, yeah, I'd have to be up at like 5:30 or something to get everything ready for the stream. So it's a big commitment to do the stream. So I'll have to see sort of how that all works time-wise. But I'm hoping Saturday we'll be able to get the vast majority of the day. Like, we'll be able to get the vast majority of the day in. 7 people got a sub, so it's 11,420. I mean, if you want to, I mean, I honestly, with how, you know, this is at the moment, how long it's been since I uploaded, YouTube aren't really massively promoting the channel at the moment. Unless it's a really interesting video that's got, like, good engagement. So this stream... I mean, the views are going up still, which is good. But, I mean, you know, with all... I assume most of you have been in the streams where I've had several thousand. So, I think you guys know this probably isn't one of the streams where we're going to get massive sub growth. But if you are new here and you haven't subscribed, do it. Because I'm cool. I say as I sip my apple juice from my glass. Yeah. Who will be a better driver this year, Yuki or De Vries? Oh, you're asking me to scrape the barrel. I don't know. Yuki Tsunoda, not good enough to ever really achieve anything in F1. Nick De Vries not good enough to ever achieve anything in Formula 1. And given the performance of the car that the AlphaTauri is likely to have, it's just going to be whoever manages to pick up a couple of points. Maybe someone gets like a 6th or a 7th, and that could swing it their way. That's a really rough one. That's a really tricky one. That could be our next poll. That could be our next poll in a minute. So first of all, yeah, no, we have had some big streams. I remember after Abu Dhabi, we after the Abu Dhabi stream, or after the Abu Dhabi race, we streamed 4 hours, and I think we peaked at over 10k. Not doing that again. Chat was absolutely horrendous. But if you joined from that stream, hi guys, how you doing? Yeah, no, that was a. McLaren said they're not happy with the car, which makes me concerned. Yeah, but I mean, yes, absolutely. And I'm concerned for McLaren anyway. I just don't think they're going to do that well, and I think until their new facilities come online, and I think their new wind tunnel is 2024, 2025. Until that comes online, I think they're going to be a bit sort of stuck where they are, sort of upper midfield region. As long as they can hold on to that upper midfield, I think Piastri will help with that, because obviously if Ricciardo scored level with Norris last season, then they would have beaten Alpine really comfortably. So, you know, they've still got a car that's right up there, and they're only a couple of attempts away from where they really want to be to compete. It's just a case of finding those couple of attempts. And unfortunately with, well, motorsport, and I guess sort of most things, the faster you get, the harder it is to, you know, improve by the same margin. So it's easy to go from 10 to 20 miles an hour, then try to go from 80 to 90. It's going to be, it's a bit more hassle. So it's, yeah, similar sort of thing. Physics, I believe they call it. Streaming tomorrow. So I would, there's a slim chance we'll do some streaming tomorrow. A slim chance. If I'm back at a reasonable time, I might be able to get like the last hour or two in, actually. No, I might not. No, I might not be able to, actually. Ooh, 4, 11, 12. Yeah, no, I probably won't. And that's depressing. I might, okay. It all depends what time the puppy goes sleep. Because if she goes sleep at about 2 o'clock, I can go, yeah, okay, I'll stream from 2 until the, 4:30, 5 o'clock when the session ends. Because I have people coming home at about 3 o'clock-ish. So that's fine. So she'll be asleep, obviously, for an hour. And then everyone else can look after her. But if she wakes up at 2, yeah, chances are we're not going to get streaming. We're not going to get streaming. So yeah, Nick going to slap Yuki this season? I don't know, because Yuki's obviously got the experience. Nick is an older driver. He's, 28? That shocked me that he's 28. I could not believe Nick De Vries is 28 years old. I mean, I knew he was older, but like 28, and he's making his F1 debut. That's interesting. As someone who has never watched the pre-season testing before, would you say it's something worth watching? Okay, this depends on what kind of fan you are. If you're someone who really enjoys just watching the cars go around, and someone who enjoys like the technical aspect of the sport, then yes, it's like so for me, it's like my dream thing. It's like we've just got cars pounding around the track for 8.5 hours a day. I'm like, this is amazing. We get to see all of these new experimental bits they're putting on the car, all these different designs, the design concepts that they have. I really love it. But a lot of other people who, if you care more about the sporting aspect of it, which is like the, the drivers, the sort of teams, the competitive nature, then you're probably not going to enjoy it that much. You're probably not going to enjoy it. But you can tune in and out of it, I'd say. That if I like to watch the whole thing, and in my Friday lectures, I'll be watching all day, because I get into uni normally at about 8 o'clock in the morning. So I'll have the audio on when I'm driving into uni from 7 o'clock in the morning, the audio, because otherwise it's illegal. And then when I get in at about 8 o'clock, I'll be watching it until I leave at 5 o'clock. That's basically how Friday's going to go. I'm not going to pay attention. I'm on an automotive motorsport. I'm on an automotive engineering with motorsport degree. No one in my lectures are going to be paying attention to the lectures. We are all going to be watching F1, and a lot of my lecturers are ex-F1 staff, so they're probably going to be watching it as well. So we'll just put it on the big screen. Just screw the lectures. We're just going to watch F1. We're more than happy. So I would not sit down and watch it just to watch it, but it's nice to have it on in the back. Yeah, I agree with that. I massively agree with that, because I just about managed to get through the 27 hours of streaming over 3 days in Barcelona, and that was without footage. That was horrific. That was absolutely like, I think we repeated the same things about 100 times each stream, because there was nothing else to talk about. There was so yeah. I mean, because it's televised, we're actually going to get like technical analysis this time, and that's great. That's really good. That's what I really hated not having when we were doing the Barcelona stream. McLaren doing a Haas and focusing for 2024, lol. Yeah, honestly, it's not even a bad idea, is it? You've got a rookie. Just get him used to the sport. You know, you don't need to give him a really competitive car for his first year. Lando, okay, yeah, he'll be really annoyed, and you have got contract negotiations turning up, so I think that's the only reason you wouldn't want to focus. I mean, Haas have been focusing on the next year every year for about half a decade now, and have never been good, so I'm not really sure what they bring to the table, to be honest. Especially when they then say, I'm not sure what Andretti are going to bring to the table. You know, that annoyed me. Gunther Steiner did an interview where he said, oh, I'm not sure what a new team brings to the sport. They don't add any value to the sport. I'm like, you're the newest team. You are quite literally the newest team. And if the journalist wouldn't have been, you know, kicked out or whatever, or blacklisted by the team, his follow-up question should have been, so have you added nothing to the sport? Valid question based on what Gunther said. But no, apparently. No. New teams add nothing to the sport. You know, not 2 more drivers, not 2 more opportunities for, like, fights across the grid, not 2 more storylines to follow. They add nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing, guys. Nothing. Thank you, Gunther. Evening all. Massive hopium in the poll. I see there's quite a lot of... Yeah. Yes. Mercedes fans, like, I appreciate the optimism, but it's probably not going to happen. It could, but it's probably not going to. Oh, we've gained subscribers. Look at that go. Can we get to 11,420? Because, you know, 420, no scope. Is that even what they do? 420 blaze it. That's the... I love how I do that and then sip apple juice. I'm an incredibly mature person, like really mature. So, which livery do I like the most? I think Alfa Romeo is the best. Well, let's go to my... I don't know why I was so aggressive with the finger there. Let's go to my little media hub that we've got set up. And let's... No, that's not worked. Does this change size? Oh, it's because I moved it... Okay, right. We're going to have to move it back over here. Okay, there we go. I was going to say, I sized this up before the stream. It didn't work. So, this is our Constructors predictions, which we are going to be doing in this stream. So if we're going off livery, so this is livery we're going to do first, right? I don't want to call the Mercedes a livery because it's not. It's just exposed carbon with a green line on it, but it looks really freaking cool. Ferrari looking great. They've gone for a higher shade of red. The Alpine looking phenomenal. Aston Martin sexy. Haas looking okay. McLaren, I'm sorry. Williams looking Alfa Romeo looking alright. What else have we got? We've got the Haas. Quite like the Haas. And the Red Bull, meh. That's my setup for that, I think. The Aston Martin, the British racing green, is it? I flipping love it. I flipping love that thing. So yeah, that's my sort of livery tier list, I guess. So we've got Aston Martin and Mercedes, Ferrari, Alpine. This isn't actually an order of this. This is for later on when we do the predictions. This is just sort of the rough tier that I'm putting them in. Quite like all 4 of these. Don't really like those 2. I'm going to be honest. There's too much black on the McLaren. It's all in the wrong place. The onboard for it doesn't look very good at all. Thank you for the subscription, Sheriff. Thank you so much. Oh, I can't get these back down now. Okay, I'm just going to have to put these all on the bottom tab because I forgot this is a nice quirk that you get with tier list where you can't put them back. So we'll come back to this in a minute. How's the poll doing? Right, let me swap tabs. Ooh. There we go. Everything just comes through at once. YouTube is just chaotic. Right, whilst I'm saying chat, evening all, massive hopium for the poll, yep. Horner said he receives good numbers from Aston Martin. I know, and I expect it. I think that might be an element of trying to hype them up a little bit, though, so let's be cautious of that. Teams are going to try to hype each other up, because it gets some clicks, it's good for the media. But yeah, Aston Martin, they're the team I expect to make the biggest leap, and there's no reason why they shouldn't. They should. They should make the biggest leap. It would be a disappointment if they don't jump from where they were last year, because last year wasn't good enough for the facilities they have, the money they have, and now the staff they have as well. You're adding staff into that facilities and money. You know, they have to be making a jump. And then, of course, when the wind tunnel, the new factory, that all finishes in probably a few months' time now, then they've got to make another jump, you know. Aston Martin have to get better year on year for the next 3-4 years now. They have to do that. Otherwise, they've failed. They have failed if they don't do that. What are we seeing? The battle for best of the rest will be decided by who will be the best out of Gasly, Oscar, and Stroll. I think Lando and Alonso are close. I agree. And Ocon is just a level below. Yeah, I agree with that pretty much. I think Alpine with their driving lineup. No, they won't be out of it because I don't rate Ocon or Gasly particularly highly, but they're not bad drivers. You know, you can sometimes fall into that trap of because you don't rate a driver as like a elite level, you actually end up underestimating them. It's a solid-ish lineup, but I think it might be a bit chaotic. I think they might crash a few. I hope they crash a few times because the fallout is going to be amazing. Those two don't get on. I need them to crash. I need them to crash several times. Red Bull bad. Aston Martin is bad. I love that. Red Bull on top. Look, Red Bull would be on top if they changed it up every now and again. You know, like I just have to lower it because it's like no, and it's not necessarily their fault. I just like to see some change in the liveries. That's it. You know, it's not even a bad looking livery. It's not bad looking. I just don't rate it that highly. I wouldn't put it. Well, I was about to go back to it, but we've closed it now. It's AlphaTauri. Did I say something else on something? I don't know. AlphaTauri. Yeah, whatever I said, it's AlphaTauri. Yeah. Red Bull pops a lot on track compared to others. It does. It looks, especially under the lights as well. It's a good looking car. He called AlphaTauri the Haas. Is that confusing? Wait, did I? Did I? Oh dear. Where is the AlphaTauri? Oh Christ, that's the AlphaTauri, isn't it? Okay, right. Can I just say, right, I'm looking on a small screen. I want to clarify that. But genuinely, they look quite similar. And I hadn't realised that they look quite similar. Yeah, so that's gonna be something I'm going to keep an eye out this year. Because that, as I've just found out, is a mistake I'm going to make a lot when I see them on TV. So, cheers for that. I don't know why there's red on the AlphaTauri. It's horrific. Why have they put red on it? Will Perez have more authority with the car setup this season? I don't know because there was rumours that apparently they had started doing that a little bit more, and that's where some of his better performances came from. But it's whether or not they keep up with that. It's whether or not they have him do sort of experimental stuff for like Max's setup to get data gathering. I don't know. I'm not sure what the dynamic actually is at Red Bull because I've seen a lot of people say, yeah, no, Perez, he does all the testing for Max and Max sort of gets out. The car's all designed around Max and so on. It might be. But, obviously the team then say, no, it's not. No, we don't do that because, it's not great PR when you're saying we're throwing one of our drivers under the bus. I don't know what the dynamics like of that team. We sort of have a good understanding of how all the other teams work, but Red Bull, because there's obviously a lot of people that throw a lot of shade either way with sort of Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari. Pardon me. All of those sort of teams, we end up with actually less of an understanding of what that team's actually like because there's a lot of slander. Number 33, Alonso. Look, Aston Martin have got to, for the next 3 or 4 years, make a leap in performance each year. They have to do that, just undoubtedly. Where do you think that'll be the biggest crash? Normally the biggest crash is going to be Saudi Arabia just because of the speeds. If we're talking G-force, normally Saudi Arabia just because, you know how quick we're going at that track. It's ridiculously fast. I know they are moving some of the walls slightly further out, so that might change. Maybe in Azerbaijan, if something goes wrong at Azerbaijan, it normally goes quite wrong. I guess Spa, you can have a horror crash. Monza, you can have a horror crash. What track lends itself? I want to go through and do statistically which track has the most crashes. I really want to go through and look at that from like the last 5 seasons. And that would that be a good short? Would people be interested? Or a video? I don't know. I think that would probably work better as a short. But obviously I don't get money from those as much. So You know, I don't want to spend hours counting it all up and then making it to not get money from it. Shorts have to be a sort of quick thing I can get out, because otherwise I'm literally wasting my time. I bet Belgium, yeah, Belgium could have a pretty big crash. If it goes wrong at Belgium as well, it goes wrong. Monza, if your brakes fail at Parabolica, yeah, I mean, yeah. There's all of these sort of fast tracks. If something goes wrong, it goes wrong. It really goes wrong. Is Mick in line to get Lewis Hamilton's seat at Merc when he leaves? See, I saw people saying this, but I think it's more likely to be an Ocon, maybe even a Verstappen sort of driver. I think it'll be someone... It will either be sort of the top driver that's around at that point, and Max is maybe looking for a move because he's just been, you know, a decade at Red Bull or whatever, and he just wants to move. Or it'll be Ocon. Look, if Mick Schumacher, if you have a lineup at Mercedes of Mick Schumacher and George Russell, I'm sorry, that's a bit of a... you're going to struggle to win championships, let's put it that way. You're going to struggle to win those championships, because Mick is... I don't want to be too mean to Mick, but he's not great. He's not. Do a video, then use clips of the video. Yeah, that's what I've tried to do on a couple. Oh, if you haven't followed us on Instagram, that's something you can do. It's at RaceBeacon. There's more people watching this than are following us, so if you want to do that, that's cool. Sometimes there'll be content on there when I remember it exists, so if you want to do that, cool. Yeah. Verstappen Mercedes never, right? I don't see why not. You know, there's not a bad relationship between Wolff and Verstappen. You know, they've never had a big public falling out and a sort of war of words. Obviously, Horner and Wolff, yeah. And also Horner's taken a few jabs at Lewis over the years, so Lewis to Red Bull wouldn't happen. But I don't see a reason why Verstappen to Mercedes can't happen 5 years down the line. I don't see why that couldn't. I mean, I think the biggest problem there might be Max retiring too early to make that move 5 years down the line. Because I think Max will maybe go to, like, when he's 30, 31, and then just retire, because why would he stay? You know, from everything we've heard from Max, it doesn't sound like he wants to stay in F1 for the next decade. You know, his career's going to be quite short. But he started early, so his career will actually be quite long. But because he started age 17, it seems a lot worse than it actually is. Mazepin to Mercedes. Yeah. Good move. The S-duct in Ferrari is legal. Yes, I saw that just before we went live. I saw someone saying that the S-duct on the Ferrari is legal. And that is really interesting, because that will not be easy to incorporate on other cars. You know, that's not an easy system to incorporate. It's very much, it works with the Ferrari side pods. That just works. So that being illegal is pretty big. That's a pretty big thing, if it's beneficial, which obviously Ferrari will say it is. I haven't looked into the details of it too much, to be honest. I've seen a couple of diagrams, but I was going to do a short on it maybe after this stream or sort of tomorrow morning, hoping there'll be a little bit more drama about it. I'm going to do this controversial Ferrari piece and then just sort of research about it, because it's something that's actually relevant to, like, even my uni course it's relevant to. So it's something good to know, and I can also just get content out of it as well. Oh man, someone unsubbed. That is just rude, isn't it? That happens after you have a video that, like yesterday, where we gained like 300 subscribers yesterday. That happens. You know, 2 or 3 days afterwards, you get the odd person unsub. Don't know why. I feel like it's weird if you subscribe one day and then like 3 days later unsubscribe. That does seem odd, but you do you. I mean, you do you. Hi, RaceBeacon. What's your name? My name is Bradley. Bradley from RaceBeacon. You see, I do the Bradley from RaceBeacon thing just in case one day I can afford to, like, expand the channel and have another person do it. So I don't go, hello, this is RaceBeacon. I say, hi, this is Bradley from RaceBeacon. So if I ever get a second sort of presenter or someone sort of join the team, that we don't need to change the channel name. So yeah, that's fun. That's really fun. Yeah, my name's Norris. Can you explain the S-duct? I hadn't heard anything about. Right, I'm going to bring up a diagram of the S-duct, and we're gonna try to piece it out, because I literally never unsub from anyone. Even yeah, I know. That's exactly my thing. I'm subscribed, so I use my main YouTube account, like that I watch on, because I don't watch stuff on this account. This is just like purely for content. Yeah, my main one. I think I'm still subscribed to people from when I was like 10 years old, and I just haven't unsubscribed. You know, I never watch any of the. It's because I don't use the sub box. I only use the recommended tab now, because I find ever since they've sort of tweaked the algorithm a little bit, the recommended tab does tend to work better for me. What is the s-duct? Okay, we'll try to go over the s-duct. What I'm going to do is really quickly research the s-duct. I think Scarbs did a really good article on it. So, okay, yeah, so Craig Scarborough explains how Ferrari SF23 s-duct scoop works in and around. So, okay, this I think is the thing we want to use. So, I had this page saved because I knew I was going to read it. Probably after the stream, but I guess I should have known this was going to come up and read it before, but oh well. So the s-duct is back, outlawed in its nose location by 2022 regulations. So yeah, this was something Ferrari did actually sort of try to have before. The s-duct scoop has reappeared on the new guys, the Mandalorian is out next week. Sorry, I got distracted there. I'm just happy to see some Baby Yoda again. In and around the side pods, in this video, freelance journalists. Wait, no, we don't want the video. We don't want the video. Okay, so yeah, this is the inlet for the s-duct. So we can see around the entry, just beneath the side pods, we have this duct. So the duct is basically just a hole and a sort of tunnel that we've got here. So that is the intake for the duct. Hopefully there is a. Oh please! Oh, they don't have a good image for it. Okay, this works. So what we've got, so obviously we know that we have the fins on the side pods now, which you can see here. We have these fins. So the duct is this sort of yellow entrance point down here. So this is the entrance to the duct. It's sort of coming through and out, and then we're sort of, because of this scoop, we're going to get extra downforce because of sort of how the side pod's shaped. Well, not side pod, the engine cover. Because it's a scoop like that, you're going to get the air coming out these ducts, and it's going to interact with the bodywork and sort of cause that downforce. And then I guess with how the car's shaped as well, you're going to get it following up from the bodywork where it's coming out the gills. So you're getting a little bit of downforce there, and it's also then redirecting that airflow to the rear wing or the beam wing as well. So that means even more downforce at the rear, which is going to help you through the corners. Obviously, it means a little bit more drag on the straight. Which is where the F-duct was so good, because it meant you could turn it off. There was an entrance, there was a little hole, because I know a lot of you won't know what the F-duct was. So actually I'll show you F-duct. So a lot of you won't know what this was. So basically, is there a higher res image? Yeah, this is a high res image. So when it's inactive, so there's a little hole where the driver could put their hand. So when they're driving, they take their hand off the wheel, cover the hole, and now would activate the duct because it's covered. You then don't have the exit point coming out here, so you don't have the air coming out, meaning the airflow, because of how air pressure works, it's all redirected this way, and then it all comes out over the rear wing, which meant you got extra downforce. So when you wanted extra downforce, cover it, or actually no, I think it, or was it the other way around? Oh god, it's been so long since it went over the F-duct, but basically it either increased or decreased downforce. I think we saw them doing it on the straight, so I guess it was decreasing drag. So it was it's redirecting it up here to get less drag. So when it's down here, it's interacting with the rear wing. So when it's active, you're not interacting with the rear wing. Oh, sorry, this is too zoomed in. You cannot see it. There we go. Oh my god, this is set up so bad. So when it's active, so when this hole's covered that we can see here, the airflow's coming up through here, through the air intake as well, around the roll hoop, and coming up over the top, which means less drag. So we're going faster, because yeah, they weren't using it through the corners, so yeah, that's what it was doing. Whereas with this system, it's interacting with the rear wing system because it's going down there. So there's the F-duct and there's the s-duct. So is there another image of the s-duct maybe? Is this a good one? I mean, yeah, it's all sort of showing the same thing. So yeah, you know, where you can see this sort of gills you've got around the scoop. Yeah, it sort of works. It works. I hope I've explained that well. Have I explained that well? I don't know. I mean, you know, I'm only a second year student. You know, we've done a lot of fluid dynamics this year, so I'd like to think I'm getting better at it. But if you guys enjoyed that, cool. What is the S-duct? Okay, so we'll just go with that. Yeah, I never heard of this channel, and I got recommended, and I guess many others, your videos yesterday, and I think your content's great. I insta-subscribe. Oh, thank you for the insta-subscribe as well. That yeah, really helps out, because I'm trying to grow that as well, because I know, what's it, like, the amount of views you get on shorts on Instagram is ridiculous compared to what you get on YouTube. Like, a good YouTube short will do really well, but I think, what was it, like, some of the, how many of you guys have followed, actually? This will be funny. Oh, we've got 2 followers! Look at us go! Yes, like, I put out a reel on Instagram, and it got, 15k in a day. I'm just like, how, that is ridiculous. Yano op mid-duct. F-duct was on the McLaren. Yes, it was. Yes. So as we saw in that picture, the F-duct was, that was an invention on the McLaren car. Yeah. Guys, 1 more subscriber, and we've got 420. So if you want to be 420, and you can blaze it with the other 11, the other 11 420s, you can do that. So you can only be 420 once. So if you want to be the 420, I think you should subscribe to the channel. Do I have Twitter? Yes, we have at RaceBeacon. I have a personal Twitter, but I don't tend to share that one. So yeah, at RaceBeacon TV. I think it's at RaceBeacon TV we use. That is that. Super Tom asking the real question. What did he say? Wait, where is this? Oh, Super Tom, right. Do you watch In the Night Garden? I've seen the In the Night Garden. It's a good show. Okay, it's a good show. Last year I really enjoyed F1 testing live relay in RaceBeacon. This year it's again going to be a good one. Yeah, unfortunately I won't be live for anywhere near as much of it. I would love to do the whole thing, but I'm in second year uni. It actually matters now. Like, my grades are actually important. It wasn't like last year where I'm like, oh, as long as I pass, it's fine. This time I'm like, no, I should actually try. It does tend to help. But yeah, I'll try to get as much of Saturday, and I'll try to do tomorrow afternoon. Friday just won't happen. I mean, I'm not even sure how much I'll be able to watch, so I'd love to, but yeah, it'll be difficult. When will I be live? So potentially tomorrow afternoon, if the puppy falls asleep at the right time, we can get 2 or 3 hours in. If not, then yeah, no, sorry about that. There won't be any. I'll try to do like a post day 1 show when sort of everyone's back at home and there's people to look after the puppy. Is university free in the UK? Sort of. It's okay. So we have student loans, but you only have to pay them back at a certain percentage over a certain wage. So it's like, unless you're earning a certain amount of money, you won't pay anything back, and then for anything you earn over that total, you pay a percentage of that extra back. That's how it works. Thoughts on Gona, mate? What? 420? 420! Whoever was 420, you're phenomenal. You're phenomenal. Whoever was 420, good. Imagine, I really hope this isn't someone who's watched the YouTube video and subscribed from that. But yeah, don't dox myself. Yeah, no, so I probably won't tell me which uni. I mean, if anyone else wants to say what uni they're at, I'll tell you if you're at the same one in DMs if you want. I have student loans in default here. Yeah, so isn't it in the US you actually have to pay them? Isn't that how it works? I don't know, to be honest. And it's quite cheap per year, to be honest. So you have a puppy and a Discord with a pet channel, but no, I'm sorry. I am sorry. Guys, okay, I'm linking the Discord. Join the Discord, because we're putting pictures of the puppy in. I'm going to tag it. DMU. Is that near me? I think that's sort of near. Politicians lie to us. It's okay. Politicians lie everywhere. It's like, you see, it's a universal thing. With the DAS from Merc 2020, didn't Merc have DAS in 2018? I'm just okay. Right, we're putting puppy pictures in the Discord. It's happening. I've got WhatsApp messages. Why have I got WhatsApp messages? Who's been messaging me? Right, here we go. We're heading over to the puppy chat. The pets. Here we go. We're getting puppy pictures. I can hear the dog barking downstairs. Oh, dear God. Sorry, parents. They're going to have to deal with that one. Okay, I mean, I've got a picture of her attacking a door. A video of her attacking a door. That sounds quite fun. Unsubbed and sub because it lost 4. Fair enough. Would you prefer that testing was at different track to Bahrain? Yeah, I mean, I prefer it to be at Barcelona because I'll be there. I would go to it, even if it meant missing uni. Like, to actually have that experience with how open the paddock is, how accessible everything is. I'd go to it. I'd be straight at it. And I always wanted to, so I'm just annoyed that they've sort of got rid of it. Remember Maldonado? Oh, I remember Maldonado. I remember good old Pasta. Drive with Pasta, crash faster. Sort of the same thing. Close enough. So, what have we got? See, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't... Honestly, just Barcelona, really. I mean, for me, that's just the testing track. And I know, times have to... I'm turning the puppy alarm off because she's barking. How do I turn this off? It's a BT baby alarm. If anyone... BT, do you want to sponsor me? We've got a baby monitor so that I know when she's barking. Sponsorship, maybe, Fine. But yeah, so right, I'm going to close off this poll because someone asked a really good question earlier and I want to get the answer of that. So, which team will win the Constructors in 2023? We've got Mercedes winning. I mean, if you want to put a bet on it, I'm not liable for your losses, but if you want to do it, go for it. Yeah, but I don't think that's as ridiculous as it sounds. Ferrari, yeah, obviously they're not going to win because they're Ferrari. They'll find a way to not win. It's actually more impressive when they find ways not to win than them actually winning. So right, that's the end on that poll. I want to ask. So who is going to win? Who will score the most points between? I know we've got De Vries and Tsunoda. I really want to hear you guys' thoughts on this because I don't know. I couldn't answer that. Someone asked it. I can't answer that. I don't know. I really genuinely don't. Is that working? Can anyone hear the dog barking in the background? Okay, so De Vries winning early on. Here. He's got 2 votes in his favour now. Okay, this is interesting. Hello, Sam. How are you doing? Long time no chat. Which venue has the highest ticket price? I think Vegas. Yeah. Wasn't there a package you can get for Vegas? I think it's... Oh... It was several $1 million, right? But you get like a week in nicest hotel in Las Vegas. You get like 10 VIP tickets for an executive box. You get like a lifetime membership to a golf club. You get like casino chips or whatever. It looks great. I mean, all of the stuff in it, I was thinking, wow, that's a lot of money. But then you actually see all the stuff that's included. I'm like, no, if I had that much money, I'm buying that. That sounds great. I mean, unfortunately, I'm not a multi-millionaire yet. But yeah. Verstappengrad says pretty cheap, so okay. Yeah, Hungary's cheaper. Yeah, I think Hungary is the cheapest one, isn't it? Doing the best, but how you doing? Not the best, but how you doing? I'm doing all right. Yeah, sorry to hear that. People seem to either think De Vries will slap or absolutely flop, and not heard much. No, I haven't either. He's either going to do incredibly well, and I don't think he will. I think he's going to flop. No, because I think it will actually be in between. It's the meme thing to say, yeah, he's going to flop, he's going to be rubbish, but I don't think he's going to be that bad. He can't be that bad. He'll be all right. Looking at the track layout of Vegas, do you think it will provide much good action? Look, Vegas is existing purely to look cool. And it's going to look cool, okay? I'm not sure it's going to make a brilliant racetrack, but it does promise to look great while being rubbish. So, I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a great track. But prove me wrong. I want it. Look, if that track's good, if the racing at Las Vegas is good, phenomenal. We have got one of the best looking sort of surroundings you can have for a Formula One race, I think. Or any sporting event mixed with great racing. Go for it. Absolutely go for it. So I hope it's good, but I don't think it will be. Most Dutch, of course, think he'll be good, but I think but I've seen a lot of Dutch people say he's not going to do well. Like when we were doing our Twitch streams, we had 2 or 3 Dutch people who would like regularly. I think most of you are here tonight. You guys would regularly say, "Oh yeah, no, he's rubbish. He's going to do rubbish." I don't know. Do most Dutch people think he'll do well? I knew you'd be here at some point. It's just when. Please no Punterino. We're going to have the Punterino. We have to have the Punterino. I'm Dutch. I was there most of the time. Oh, fair enough. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I look, because Sonoda, that is a pure toss-up for me. I couldn't go. Like, if someone offered me a £5 bet either way, I don't know. He fell off a cliff in Formula E. Yeah, he did a little bit, didn't he? That's the thing. He was champion in Formula E for the year where it was just a complete lottery. The qualifying format was awful. It was just complete luck. So, and he sort of fell off after that, didn't he? When it went back to actually sort of being skill based, they weren't as good. Let's say there's a bit difference between thinking Nick will do well and wanting him to do well. Yeah, fair enough. Bradley Ball-Brent. Yeah, I mean, if we want to do a collab, that'd be pretty cool. That'd be cool. I mean, I'm open to offers. Who do you think is winning F2? Oh, you know what? Who's on the F2 grid this year? I saw them all when they came in. I was following F2 grid 2023. Right, who's on this grid? Because I know I had a favourite or two from this. So we've got Zane Maloney. He'll be interesting to watch. Dennis Hauger. I love Dennis Hauger. Love him. Porsche. No, he's not going to do well. Vesti will be fun to watch. Ollie Behrman as well. Both the Prema boys. Really excited to see them in action. Really looking forward to that. Isaac Hadjar as well. That'd be quite fun. Wow, there's a lot of F3 drivers who have been promoted this year. A lot of them. Oh, but of course, Ralph Boschog is still on the grid. I got so close to the bottom of this Oh, yeah, I got so close to the bottom of this page, and I was like, "There's no Ralph Boschog." Yeah, no, he's the bottom one, which is actually good because that's where he's going to end the season, so it does work. Ollie Behrman was rubbish last year. He wasn't awful. He wasn't awful. Oh, so okay, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, no, he was all right. Behrman was all right. What do you think about the Ferrari's S-duct, and is it legal? So, officially, it is legal. We heard, maybe if I go to TweetDeck. Yeah, no, it's not. Okay, so it was on the TweetDeck before I went live. It has been confirmed the Ferrari S-duct is legal. So, if you've just joined and you don't know what the S-duct is, it is this. We went over it just a minute ago. It's not an active aero or more active aero like the F-duct was, where drivers had to take their hand off the wheel. This literally just works as a... Hang on, let me zoom in again. There we go. So this works as we have a little duct entry point at the front end here, just along the side of the sort of survival cell. And then it's just funneling through here. Coming out the gills on the side here, we've got the exit. So yeah, you've got some of the gills, you've got the exit, and then because you've got this scooped side pod design, what's happening is you're getting a little bit of downforce there, and it's redirecting it just over the bodywork to sort of where the beam wings and the rear wing is. So you're sort of getting a double dose of downforce. So it's pretty clever, and it's good that it has been confirmed legal. This is the stuff I like to see. Like, to me, this is the stuff I find really interesting, and I mean, I guess why I like the sport. I mean, I'm doing an automotive engineering degree with motorsport. That's a very important addition. So yeah, this stuff to me, I just find it really interesting, especially like the aero stuff. In hindsight, I really should have done an aerospace degree because I find it a lot more interesting than like the most other parts of engineering. But I can get more jobs this way. It's fine. And we do still do a fair bit of aero stuff. Right, so one of my lecturers are an ex-Ferrari aerodynamicist, and he said to me that, because we did this little project with some buggies, and this is just me flexing at this point, because it was the proudest moment of my life. People will say when I crossed 10k or whatever, that'd be proud. No, it was when an ex-Ferrari aerodynamicist sat down next to me, looked at my design on CAD, my aero design for this sort of bodywork of a buggy, and said, "Oh, that's really clever." I was like, properly, I was taken aback by that. It was so nice. I love him. He's a great lecturer. Love him. Also, that genuinely might be like my life peaking at that point. So it's only downhill from here. It's only downhill. But yeah, no, that made me feel so good. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the power you have. If you've worked in Formula One and you've got like motorsport fans, students, just compliment them. They'll be all over it. What team do you think will improve most? Aston Martin. If we're taking a percentage of their points from last year and comparing it to how many points they'll have at the end of this year, it's got to be Aston Martin. If it's anyone else but Aston Martin, then Aston Martin have done a horrific job and they've failed horrendously with the facilities they have. Because last year was barely acceptable. If now with Alonso and, you know, you have the Red Bull and Mercedes staff, there's 3 or 4 people they hired fairly high up in sort of both of those ranks. Their impact is starting to come onto the car now. So if they don't make a big jump, they have failed horrendously. So yeah, Aston Martin. Which team do you think would prove yet? So I was thinking Ollie Caldwell, not bad. Right, okay, yeah, no, Caldwell wasn't great. You are right, Caldwell was not great. How would you think Piastri do against Norris since he did so well in his mid-rookie season in F3 and F2? Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty lost on Piastri. I think he's going to be the best rookie for sort of 2 or 3 years, definitely. I don't think he can beat Norris in the first year. I think as well, especially as we only have 3 days of testing, he's going to need a few races to sort of get up to scratch in the first place. And for Lando, that's all he needs. You know, he'll probably pick up a couple of 5th places in that time, and he'll have good points advantage. So even if, you know, Piastri narrowly beats him for the rest of the year, he might not even be able to sort of overturn the points lost at the start, just while he's getting used to the car. What about a new front wing? Is that for Ferrari? Frederick Vesti will be interesting. I think he has the race pace. He just needs to sort out quali. Yeah, I mean, he's not a bad driver either, is he, though? He'll be an interesting one. I keep seeing glimpses from Vesti and thinking, like, oh, he might do something. And then, you know, you see him in a race sometimes and go, why is my camera's really overexposed, but whenever I change it, it looks like I look so. I mean, I am quite pale, but I look worse than normal on this camera. I really don't like it. What's my dinner tonight? I'm going to Chinese. I don't know. I think I've got some like microwave barbecue chicken because I was meant to be doing my brother's football training tonight because I like help coach that. And I sort of scheduled the stream for getting that was at 7 and went, oh yeah, that's not going to work. So I've backed out of doing that to do this stream. So there you go, guys. I'm here for you. I'm here for you guys. So yeah, I've just got some like really cheap rubbish to put in the microwave. It's not a healthy meal tonight. It's not a healthy meal. What do you think about another innovation from Mercedes front wing from last year that Ferrari have been I'm not sure what that's about. I'm not sure what that's about. I haven't heard anything about either of their front wings. I don't think Ferrari would use the front wing. What are we on about the front wing? Hang on, have I missed something? I feel like I've missed something. If McLaren don't improve and Norris wants to leave, where should he go? Red Bull or Mercedes. I don't want him to go Ferrari because they're a cluster. Don't want him to suffer through that. Imagine hoping Piastri will stay within 0.1 of a second of Norris. I mean, I hope he does. You know, well, I hope he's within 0.1 of a second. You know, I'm happy if he goes further along than that. You know, I mean, I'm a McLaren fan. I love Norris to bits, but I'm a McLaren fan. They're my team. I want them to do well. I don't care which driver does it. I really don't care. Hell, I mean, I don't care if we hire Mazepin and for some reason he turns into the greatest driver in the world. I just want McLaren to win again. It's really depressing. You like 80s kids, mate, from past... yeah, no, I missed out on the 80s, so I was like, well, I've just got to catch up, you know. That's what I was thinking. Do you think Ferrari or Mercedes will be Red Bull's biggest challengers? So I think Mercedes have the most ability to outdevelop Red Bull over the course of the year, especially with Red Bull's 10% reduction in wind tunnel testing time. And Fred Vasseur, one of the first things he said is Ferrari need to do better in their sort of mid-season innovations, their sort of mid-season development that they're doing. They have to be stronger in that department. But they, you know, that's not going to change within 1 year. You know, Vasseur's going to need a couple of... He's going to need some time to fix that. Ferrari using support structures as aero, which was oh, no, I know what you're talking about. So, yeah, I mean, it's not in the spirit of the regulations what they've done with the front. Yeah, sorry, I didn't connect what you were talking about there at all. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about now. So, yeah, it's something that originally wasn't allowed before. I thought I heard that it is being allowed. I thought that's the last I heard, at least. I don't think it really should, because, like you say, the whole effect is creating that outwash which is creating more dirty air, which is against the spirit of what these regulations were. Imagine not saying Ferrari need to up their strategy. I mean, yeah, that as well. That as well. I feel like that one's so obvious, no one needs to mention it. You know, Ferrari and strategy, they go together like sliced bread and... Oh, no, they go together like unsliced bread and a knife. It doesn't go... Is that even a saying? If I just invented a saying that makes no sense, that's probably what I've just done. I do speak a lot of rubbish. I think that's very clear. I'm a McLaren fan, but I do think that they will... So do I. So do I. I'm really hopeful that they, will do well this year, but I'd love them to. But I don't think they will. I'm watching you since you had 3,000, now you're at 10,000. Congrats, mate. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, we've got 420 now. We've got 11 420. How cool is that? 80% of all problems will be solved if they sort of... Yeah. I mean, and their reliability as well. That was what really set them back last year. Yeah, there was some horrendous strategy calls in there. But the main thing that set them back pace-wise was they had to keep turning their engine down for reliability reasons. This is something I sort of covered in the video that I put out literally like an hour and a half before I went live with this. That was an absolute pain in the bottom to get uploaded, I tell you. Mike died? Has it? Can anyone hear me? Here from Abu Dhabi from 2021. Well, Rishi, I remember you, Rishi, actually. I do remember you. Good to see you back. Yo, after a long time. Hello, Sahan. How you doing? Good to see you back. What do my guts say about Merc? I think Red Bull will be far and Ferrari slightly ahead. Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to start the season fairly similar to where we left it. Red Bull and Ferrari sort of there or thereabouts. Ferrari maybe with a slightly more punchy engine. But for me, the top three is not going to be a massive shift. By the end of last year, Mercedes had got quite close, and that's the only reason I'm saying if we were talking about Mercedes from the start of last year, then yeah, they've made a jump. But from the end of last year, where they were sort of semi-competitive at a few races, I think that's where they'll be at the start of this year. And then if they can outdevelop Red Bull and Ferrari again, then they could be winning races by the end of the year. So it all comes down to mid-season development because the top three teams are quite close. There's not a lot in it. It's only a few tenths. Do you think the Mercedes or... Oh, yeah, I just read that one. Oh, no, I didn't. Do you think the Mercedes or Ferrari will have the car to beat Red Bull this year? Not at the start of the season. But like I say, if either of them can outdevelop Red Bull, then yeah. And this is sort of the highest chance we'll have of someone outdeveloping Red Bull because they do have that 10% reduction in wind tunnel testing time. I went Mercedes in the constructors' vote, mostly because I'm a Lewis fan, to be honest, but also because I'm intrigued by the limits of the zero pod. Yeah, and that's the thing, surely if they're sticking with the no pods for another year, apparently they do have a plan B, so I think we will see that at some point during testing, and if not, then they're just being stupid, or if they run the no pods on the first day and it goes really well, then they go, we don't need the plan B, it'll be fine. So if, it's either really stupid or a good sign if we don't see those plan B side pods come out. We won't know which until they come last in the first race or win it. I want to say, should have gotten... Yeah, now they should have gotten over the issues that came... I mean, most of the issues came from the floor anyway. I think, like, the actual fundamental benefits from the no pods still exists. They still have that, you've got reduced drag, sort of reduced weight as well, and a more tightly packaged car. Those benefits still exist. It's just whether they fixed all of the other problems with the car. Apparently on their shakedown, they did have a couple of problems with the suspension. So we'll see if they can get that fixed, because obviously suspension's got to be good, because it's quite important on a car. As an automotive engineer, the suspension is quite important on a car. Breaking news. I really think we are going to have a three-way battle by the mid of season, right? Mid-season maybe. I would go more sort of last quarter of the year, because I think that's where Red Bull we're going to start seeing the effects of Red Bull's decreased wind tunnel testing time, and Ferrari and Mercedes both having that advantage over them. Maybe by halfway through a season, if a couple of good upgrade packages go Ferrari and Mercedes' way, then yeah, mid-season's possible. It's not impossible at all, but I think on a more conservative guess, 3/4 of the way through the season, something like that. It might be one of those brawn situations where Red Bull pick up loads of points at the start of the year, and then other teams start catching up, and they need that lead from the start of the year. I think the first sort of 5, 6, 7 races for Red Bull will be really important. If they are behind Ferrari or Mercedes after 7 races, I don't think they'll win. I think that's it. I think if they're not ahead after like 7 races, that's it. Done. Thank you for the sub as well. Where do you think Haas will be in the first race? Not great. I'm going to be honest. I don't think they're going to be too high. I don't think they'll be ridiculously high. I'd say like maybe 8th. I think they might be ahead of like AlphaTauri because I don't think any of the AlphaTauri drivers are particularly good. And Williams because I think that car might be quite slow. So maybe 8th, maybe 7th, maybe ahead of like Alfa Romeo or something at a push, but 7th at best, I'd say, for Haas. Do you think Lawrence Stroll will get rid of Lance in the future if he holds back team? Okay, so I think this season will dictate my answer to that. If Stroll's miles off Alonso, and it turns out Vettel just really wasn't pulling his weight for the last 2 years, then yeah, there's going to be a lot of media pressure and sort of financial pressure as well. Because if you've got a Formula 1 team that you know could be coming 2nd or 3rd in the Constructors and you're coming 5th every year, I'm going to go to my son and go, look, mate, sorry. I love you and I'll give you a £50 million payoff or something. Go live your life. Bye. But if they're at the level of performance they had last year and they're sort of stuck there, then you may as well just keep him because you're not going to achieve anything anyway. But no, if they start to become like a really serious team and Stroll's holding them back, then surely at some point you've got to go for glory over, yay, my son's a Formula 1 driver. You've at some point that has to go. Do you know any free sites pirated to watch races because there are no broadcasters for 2023 in India and F1 TV Pro is crazy expensive? I used to pay 10%. I don't. I know like IPTVs exist. But officers, I wouldn't know where to get those because I don't have one. But IPTVs are what they're called, and if you happen to find any on the internet somewhere, they can be good investments, from what I've heard from people. Yeah. I've never understood suspension, to be honest, like push and pull rod. I don't see... I mean, honestly, the difference between push and pull rod's really small. I mean, with pull rods, you can get maybe a little bit of like extra understeer sort of... But most of it comes from like the wishbone structures and that sort of thing. Like, not a lot of it really comes from the difference between the pull rod and push rod. See, this is really good because on Tuesday... That's yesterday. Because yesterday, I was doing about a 4-hour lecture on suspension. So, I could talk about that all night now. Yeah, no, really, a lot of it comes from the actual structure rather than like your materials, your sort of stiffness. Yeah, okay. So this is the benefit of having some F1, some lecturers who used to be F1 staff. So Williams, apparently, they still use, I think it was titanium in their wishbone structure. Up until only sort of 3 or 4 years ago. Apparently they might still be running it. We don't know. My lecturer hasn't talked to anyone from Williams the last 4 years. But 4 to 5 years ago, when he talked to one. They were the last team to still have, I think it was titanium in the wishbones. And that was because basically they were like, yeah, if we have a crash, we're going to survive it. I'm like, well, that explains why Williams have been so slow recently. They're driving a bloody tank. It's like, okay, great, if you crash, you'll be able to carry on, but you're going to come last every race because you weigh 50 kilos more than everyone else. What am I studying at uni? Automotive engineering is what I'm doing, so it tends to help with F1, I suppose. And Jenny, I've been able to go so much more into detail on these sort of like streams and videos because of uni, and I'm like, oh, you know what, it might be rubbing off on me somewhere. But yeah, no, seriously, there's not a massive difference between push and pull rod, as long as it, actually works structurally, there's not a massive difference. Not because I think it's not important, just because I know I'm thick. I mean, fair play, there's a lot of power in knowing knowing you don't know something. There's a lot more power in that than thinking you know something and you don't. So, you're on the right boat. I think Mercedes in this regulation is like Red Bull from 2014. Yeah, they might be sort of around there. I mean, obviously, without the massive, engine advantage they had. I mean, this is the biggest reason they've fallen behind is the engine. The Mercedes engine isn't good. It was really OP in 2021. Now, the Red Bull powertrain engine's really strong from 2022. That could shift again this year, but, the engine is worse. It was worse. You look at the speed trap data, and all of the customer teams for Mercedes went down in their speed trap data more as a percentage than the other teams did. So, the Mercedes engine was weaker. Not quite, because they have really improved according to some sources. They're going to be a real threat, as Red Bull 2014 was not that. Yeah, I suppose that's a good point. Red Bull 2014 wasn't actually a massive threat. If Ricciardo got a seat in 2024, who do you think it would be for? I don't think he's going to get a seat. Haas. Apparently he rejected. Oh, he asked Haas for like 20 million a year or something, like really ridiculous amount of money for Haas. That's slight aside, but yeah, no, like a Haas, maybe an Alpine, Renault sort of. I don't think there's many routes back for him. I really don't. Finished. Yeah, I don't think there's a massive route back to him. A route back for him. My dream is to become a pit crew member. That'd be really cool. I used to want to do that, and then I realised, no, it's probably actually quite hard work. So I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that anymore. Yeah, so that sounds like a really fun thing to do. But no, I find the technical aspect of Formula 1, I think, a lot more interesting than like that part of it. Which is great, you know. But yeah, I really do like the technical aspect. Honestly, I might just end up working for like some Ministry of Defence company or something, because they pay really well and it's really cool. I can make missiles. How fun. I think Ricciardo has another passion. His F1 focus no more. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see him. So this was confirmed. He's not doing any other series this year. I'm like, why? Why you've got a year off in what should sort of be your prime age. Why are you not going off and doing a load of other series? And that makes me think, yeah, has he got another passion that's not racing anymore? It just seems weird. Which drivers on the grid currently do you think won't have a seat in 2024? Ooh. Tsunoda. I think Tsunoda will be replaced if he gets beaten by De Vries, as the poll suggests. Who won't have a seat in 2024? Maybe Alonso, but I think that would come from him retiring. Hamilton will renew his contract, I think. I wasn't sure of it a couple of months ago if he'd carry on for sort of that long, but I think he's going to now. I think we'll maybe get a 1 or 2 year contract extension for Lewis. Oh, who's not going to be there? So yeah, I think Ricciardo won't. I think Tsunoda will be gone. I think this will be his last chance this year. Who else? Anyone else got any ideas? Am I studying mechanical? No, automotive. But I mean, look, at university, all branches of engineering are like 95% the same. I've got a friend who's studying mechanical, and her course is exactly the same as mine. We do the same work. So yeah, it's only a technicality, really. Hi, it's a greeting from Hong Kong. Hello, Kent. How you doing? What time is it in Hong Kong now? Is it early morning or really late evening? I think it's early morning, isn't it? I think. Yeah. I think. I could be horrendously wrong here. Yeah, K-Mag, yeah. Thing is though, who would replace him? I maybe one of the Formula 2 drivers sort of down there. Maybe one of the Prema boys. You know, because they still have that Ferrari powertrain, and there's 2 very good Prema drivers in F2 next year. So maybe one of the Prema boys. Oh, now it's 3 a.m. Okay, never mind. Well, I mean, you know, cheers for staying up this late. I mean, you should probably be asleep though, unless you're on a night shift. Joe, I don't think we'll have a seat. Yeah, Joe as well. Yeah, Joe as well. I think Joe. Let's do it more. Who's at threat of losing their seat? So K-Mag, Tsunoda, Joe. I guess De Vries, if he performs badly, there's no reason to keep him for a second year. Is there really anyone else? I don't think there's really many other people who are like really. I guess Hulkenberg. I don't think he's a very permanent signing, really, is he, at his age? Don't forget Formula 1. I'm not. I mean, if Sam Bird wants to join F1, I'll take it. But I don't think we're going to get many people transfer from Formula E to Formula 1. It's so different. Yeah, they're single seaters, but you know, you've got the regen. It feels like a different category of sport watching it. Piastri. Ooh, not sure. Ollie Behrman to Haas. Yeah, that's what I mean. I think one of the Prema boys could go to Haas. I think that's pretty likely. I think Joe is not that... No, he's not that bad, but I think he could be under pressure, if you get what I mean. I think, like, if he doesn't have a good year, you know, if he gets really beaten by Bottas, then he would be at threat. Perez, yeah. Because so Red Bull offered Lando a drive at Red Bull Red Bull offered Lando a drive several times, apparently, but while Lando was sort of negotiating his McLaren contract. So, you never know. Stroll, Nick. Oh my god, the chat is so far behind. I'm sorry. I did not know the delay was this long. Jesus. Sorry. Piastri, Oli Behrman to Haas. Perez could be gone next year as well. What team do you think will underperform? Ooh. Well, you see, so I think the grid's going to be fairly similar to what we had last year. I think Aston Martin will jump. Maybe McLaren, Maybe McLaren. Change in team principle, it's definitely going to shake things up a little bit. Maybe McLaren. I don't want it, but maybe, no, Alpine. I think it could be Alpine, mostly because you've got two drivers who might be crashing into each other every other race, and that might lower the points ever so slightly. What team do you think will unform? Yeah, so do you think Johan has what? Yeah, I don't think so. What's his sort of record? What's Deruvala's record like? Where did he finish last year? So he's been in Formula 2 since 2020 now, so I feel like he's been there too long to sort of make a jump to F1. I feel like you sort of reach a limit where you sort of get stuck in F2 and then sort of have to go to like sports cars, Formula E, that sort of thing. So yeah, probably not. Yeah, I don't think Deruvala probably does have. Yeah, I'd put him just a class below F1 quality, to be honest. Like, he's close, but I'd put him just below. Zhou really improved against Bottas during last year. He did, yeah. Started off quite weak, but then, yeah, sort of came back. Bottas, I don't know if that's Bottas falling off or Zhou getting better. We'll, I guess, wait and see. Driver changes 2024. Porsche in over Zhou. Behrman in over K-Mag. Enzo Fittipaldi in over Sano. I could see all three of those happening. I could see all three of those happening. I think Yuki might be in danger if Nick beats him. Yeah, absolutely. I think whichever AlphaTauri driver loses next year will be out. I think that's how that will work. Do you think there will be any podium finishers or winners outside top three teams? I mean, we had one last year, Lando, my boy. So I don't know. No, to be honest, I don't think so. No, we're going to have one. There'll have to be one. There's just going to be one chaotic race where like 3 or 4 of them from the top 6 retire. So I'm going to say yes. Not on pure pace, obviously. But I'm going to say yes, it will happen. But not on pure. It's not going to happen on pure pace. Good night, guys. I have school tomorrow. Yeah, so do I. I'm Oh, it's 7:30. That's reasonable. I'll keep going maybe for like half hour at a push. I will stop before the 2-hour mark. Because I've also got to have food. And I have an alarm set for about 5:30 in the morning, so would quite like to go sleep at some point. Is this make or break season for Lewis Hamilton? I mean, potentially. If George Russell... Yeah, no, I'm going to say yes, because if George Russell comfortably beats him, I think that's it. If Russell has the pace advantage over Lewis, he's not getting another championship. Would he have to look elsewhere? Would Hamilton have to look elsewhere if George Russell beats him comfortably? That's a good question to throw out. If you're Hamilton in that position, you get beaten by George Russell, like I say, comfortably here. What are you going to do? Are you retiring? But then do you want to retire on a low point, or do you want to try another team and sort of see what happens? Alonso, Gasly, Ocon, Norris podiums. I'm not sure both the Alpine drivers will. I'm not sure on that. Alonso, if the Aston Martin improves, yes, I think he will. And Norris does have a habit of just picking them up because he's good. He's good. I think Hamilton drives a Mercedes or no one. Yeah, I'm sort of in the same boat there. So yeah, if Hamilton, this is a big year thinking about it. If Hamilton does get beaten by Russell, who's in his obviously second year at Mercedes, that could be it. That could be it. Yeah, no, really good point. Really good point, actually. I hadn't really given much thought to it, but yeah, if he gets comfortably beaten, that will be it. I'm scared not gonna. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that before, but yeah, no, that's I'm not used to him having a genuinely threatening teammate anymore. That's what Rosberg got the better of him, but that was that was reliability really, but and also brilliance from Rosberg. I don't want to downplay what Rosberg did because to beat Hamilton over the course of the year, you have to be good. Trust me, I'm a Button stan. The fact he beat him, I'll tell you, blow it out. Yeah, but must keep faith. Must keep faith. Who finished 4th? What, is this in constructors or drivers? Constructors, it's going to be Aston Martin, McLaren or Alpine. I can't say. We're going to watch testing, and I still won't be able to say by the end of it. Because I think Aston Martin... I've just got a feeling Aston Martin are going to put in a really cheeky glory run, because they know there's some hype behind them, and then they're going to qualify like 12th, and it's just going to be really depressing. Rosberg, the guy that beat Hamilton equal machinery. Yeah. That's what I mean. It was so impressive to do that. Do you reckon any drivers outside of the Formula Series might step up at the end of 2023? Yeah, I mean, I think one of the 2 Prema boys in Formula 2. Is there anyone else really? So yeah, I think either Fred Vesti or Ollie Behrman could be a good shout. I mean, there's a Brit in there with Behrman. So there's only 1 Brit in Formula 2 this year. Wow, okay, that's who I'm supporting. That makes it a lot easier. Cheers, lads. There's 3 Americans. We've got Jack Crawford, Brad Benavides. I've heard Benavides. I did not know his first name was Brad. I share a name. Okay, I'm supporting 2 drivers this year in Formula 2. And then Juan Manuel Correa. Oh, he's back in Formula 2, is he? That's nice. That's nice for him. Why did that just come through in a chunk? Also, I'm really sorry. I know if no one's noticed it, it's going to annoy them, but I have this spot here. So I went on a TV show. I can't say which. I went on a TV show to do some filming, like literally 2 weeks ago, and they put some makeup on. I've never worn makeup before, and like literally this whole section came out in spots, and I'm like, oh, this is horrific. So that's if you're wondering why my last like 3 videos haven't had face cam, that's why. That's why. If you hadn't seen that, I'm sorry for ruining it. But am I the only one who thinks Carlos's seat might be in danger? The problem I have with that is it should be in danger if he does badly, but I don't know who they bring in. Is there anyone for Ferrari to really put into that seat? But then again, I sat there when, before Sainz was hired, and I would have never thought Sainz would drive for Ferrari. So it might just be one of those drivers on the grid that, you don't expect that makes the move with sort of no previous ties that you know of and does it. I wish Rosberg came back to F1. I wish he never left. It would have been a better few years when we had that sort of Mercedes dominance. It would have been a hell of a lot better. Vidales drove in Fraker, didn't he? Well, I think so. Yeah, Formula Regional Euro Cup. I think he did. Lando. I don't want him to. I don't want him to go Ferrari. But I would really love to see Leclerc v Lando, because I've sort of had a mental thing in my head of which one's better over the course of a year. I think Leclerc slightly edges Lando on raw pace, but Lando doesn't make the mistakes that Leclerc does. I think that'd be a really close team. I think the battle would be amazing between the 2 of them. Don't see any way in for Vesti. Doubt Williams will drop anyone. Yeah, unless Logan is awful. Don't see it happening. Same with... How far behind is this stream? How far behind? Charlando. Yeah, we have some Charlando. I mean, look, so Leclerc was the driver that I really followed until he went Ferrari. Because I'm a McLaren fan. I can't follow Ferrari. That's not allowed. It's like if my favourite footballer goes to Liverpool. I can't support him anymore. Sorry, Liverpool fans. Sorry if you mentioned this, but will testing be televised? So yeah, televised will be testing. Breaking news, guys. Televised will be testing. So testing is televised on F1 TV or your regional provider. So in my case, Sky Sports F1. In India's case, it's F1 TV. I think in the States, shouldn't have mentioned the States because I don't know. A lot of European countries, it's F1 TV. I think probably all of Africa, it's F1 TV. I can't imagine there's many independent television rights in a lot of those countries. Asia, I think, is quite F1 TV heavy as well. I think we all want to see a Leclerc versus Russell versus Norris. Right, so that's 2 people who have mentioned my microphone now. Is there anything wrong with the microphone? Because I have got it connected to the right microphone. So if not, I need to upgrade on this anyway, don't I? I've got my little boy, and if I take this off, it does. I don't think it makes a difference. But I do need to. I want to get one of the cool arm ones where I can put it in front of me and I look cool, all professional and stuff. No, nothing's wrong. Okay, cool. Viaplay's bad. I know. I travelled to. Oh God, what country's Viaplay? I travelled to the country that was on and saw a football match on it the other week. And that was that. Yeah, no, it was pretty poor at times. The sponge thing does make a difference here. Does it? Does it make a big difference? Is it? Because I know it's obviously like your wind guard. That's the whole purpose of it. It's also quite fun to play with when I don't throw it everywhere. Norway and Netherlands. Ah, right, okay, yeah. So I recently travelled to the Netherlands and I saw a football match. And hello, Emil. How are you doing? Emilex, or is that Emil X or Emilex? Because there's quite a difference, I think, in how we're going to pronounce that if you pop up again. If Norris, Russell, Sainz, and Perez were in equal machinery, who wins? Norris, Russell, Sainz, and Perez. I think it's between Norris and... Ooh. I don't think Perez does. I think he's the first one I could rule out. I think he's the one that I put fourth. Then you've got... I don't know. Fair enough. If Norris, Russell, and Sainz... Because Sainz did beat Lando both years, but obviously Lando's now more experienced. No, that's a freeway. I think that varies race by race. I think you could run that season 3 or 4 times, and I think you come out with a different outcome each time. That's just straight Norris. Is it though? Because we say this, but Sainz held his own against Norris. Sure, Norris is more experienced now, but he held his own. Russell, okay. Well, let's do that poll. That could be sort of the poll that rounds off the night, I guess, sort of. And I'm going to do my constructors predictions while we look at this poll. Who wins in equal machinery? Hey, hello, nice job from Senegal. Hello, Alpha. How are you doing? And hello to any Senegalese people who happen to be watching, which I'm assuming is probably just yourself with 48 of us. This is one of our smaller streams. We haven't even got anyone from Jupiter watching. It's so depressing. Sorry, what was it? It was Norris, Russell. I've spelled Russell. Oh, God, it annoys me so much when people can't spell George Russell, but I've not typed it for so long. I've seen it written down. Oh, it's double L. Yeah, it's double L. I knew it was double L. Sainz and Perez. Right, so... Oh, no, it didn't type that. Okay, so this is our new poll. Have at it. There we go. Look at that. This is so good that I did that. That's such a good contribution to this stream by me, which is very rare, because I very rarely contribute to this stream much. What do you think about the engine gains from Ferrari and Red Bull? I mean, so as I said in the video that went out like an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, I think... Looking at how many retirements happened last year, it seems Mercedes have the most leeway to push. They can really push a limit. I've heard Ferrari are aiming to only use 4 power units. So obviously the regulations say you're only allowed to use 3. But Ferrari have just gone, yeah, that's not happening. We're just going to target 4. Which, yeah, I mean, it's going to happen to everyone, isn't it? Oh, that's closed. Need to open that. You know who George Russell's brother is? Jack Russell. I love that that's the first contribution in this stream. It's a good joke, fair play. So yeah, between Russell and Norris so far, fair enough. Also, have you seen Mercedes' edge of the front wing innovation? See, the edge of the front wing. I thought we were talking about the sort of support struts that we were using as aero. Is there another thing that I don't know about? No votes for Sainz and Perez. I know, that's really... I'm surprised. I mean, Perez I'm not surprised about, but surely there's got to be someone here who rates Sainz like highly. Because I wouldn't vote for him, but... Yeah, no, I guess that makes sense, because a lot of people will be in that mindset of, he'll probably come second or third, but I'm not going to put him top, so yeah, I guess it makes sense. But yeah, anyone watching from the Netherlands? I love that. I was looking at the demographic of, like, how many people had, so I was looking at my total views and demographic from those views. I think 1% of the Netherlands population has viewed, so my views from the Netherlands equates to 1% of the population. So if we're assuming that each person watches like 2 videos maybe, because there'll be a lot of people who see 1 and there'll be loads who see loads. So let's average it out at like 2 views per person. That's 0.5% of the Netherlands who have heard me speak. Which is that's so bonkers to me. It's so bad. But that's the power of like social media stuff, and it's so crazy because like, if I wasn't doing these, it would be, a couple of hundred people who hear me ever speak. Now it's about 2.5 million individual people have seen or heard my contribution to something. Very small contribution, but like a contribution to their thoughts or like education and F1 stuff. I don't know, but that's bonkers. It's so weird. It's like a front wing tip. I'm one of the only ones. Yeah. We normally have loads of Dutch people watching. We normally have loads. I think the Netherlands is my third most viewed country, I think, from there. So that's why it's so high on the set. It's like 1% of the population. That's mad. But Netherlands, F1 crazy country these days, aren't you? More Vortex clean air. So okay, so no, I think we are still talking about the same bit then, yeah. Yeah, no, I have seen it. It's I mean, it goes against the spirit of the regulations, but look, if it's allowed in the rules, can't do much about it. We're just being quiet. There you go. Hoping McLaren has a good year. Do you watch stuff like the Indy 500? So, okay, so this is really funny. Well, it's probably not that funny, to be honest. It's funny to me because I was really tired. So I started watching the Daytona 500 the other day. Also, I want to say both of those are on my bucket list. Like, I'm doing that before I have to do that at some point in my life. So if anyone wants to pay for me to fly out, just saying, or if anyone wants to hook me up with some tickets, yeah, no, I have to do that at some point. I'll do top 5 drivers on the grid in a minute. So yeah, I turned on Daytona 500. I got 102 laps in. I was laying down over there because my bed's right there. I was laying down right there. Had it on in front of me. Apparently I fell asleep because I woke up and football was on. And it was about 2 a.m. So I still, to this moment, don't know who won the Daytona 500. I watched over half of it and have no idea who won. I don't want to know. No one tell me. It's just funnier. It's funnier not knowing. That's what I genuinely don't know. I missed the best. I know. I heard. I missed the best finished ever. Oh, it was so annoying. It was so. I woke up and everyone on Twitter was going, "Oh, this is amazing." I'm like, "Oh, go away." I think it's because Hamilton won it. Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. What was it? A late entry. I mean, I missed half the race, so it could have been, to be fair. I think it was Mazepin who won in it. Yeah, it probably was. Also, hi, how you doing? Yeah, that was bad. That was quite bad, to be honest. Ricky Bobby won. Did he? I thought it was Stenhouse, to be honest. But that's because I saw a couple of people tweet about Stenhouse in the morning. So what happened? Here we go. This could be it. We could go over what happened. Good man, cheers. I'll tell you, that was bad. That was so bad. But yeah, no. So I don't watch much NASCAR. I watch quite a bit of Indy. But I always make sure to watch Daytona 500. Always watching Indy 500, like the qualifying and all of that. But like I said, I have to go to it. I'm going to go to it one day. Gotifi Mazepin had a wheel-to-wheel battle. I mean, I'd love to. I want to see those two hook up in like one of the other series. I don't want to see them hook up. That might be. Yeah, I'd love to see those guys do another series because they weren't far apart on pace, were they? They'll actually be battling each other. It was so good. It's just the ultimate F1 sort of meme battle. It's great. Ricky Bobby is from. Oh fuck's sake! Yeah. Oh my god. So can you tell that I woke up at 6 o'clock this morning? Yeah, Ricky Bobby from the... Oh, for God's sake. Oh. The fact that I was like, yeah, I know that name. It passes. I remember that from NASCAR. Close enough. I feel like Red Bull are holding something behind. Yeah, they probably are, to be honest. I mean, but all of them will be. They'll all be sandbagging in like some aspect. And, we're not going to see the real performance. I think especially between the top 3 teams, I think they all secretly fancy themselves to do quite well. And this is my problem. I think Aston Martin are going to do really well in this pre-season test. It's going to look like they're doing absolutely great. And it's gonna mentally break me because I'm gonna think, oh yeah, Aston Martin, they've actually made that jump because I feel like Aston Martin are gonna go for a glory run, and the top 3 teams are gonna sandbag quite a lot because they all sort of fancy themselves. And we're just not going to have an idea. We're not going to have any clue. Last year we left that going, oh, I tell you what, Verstappen looks pretty quick. And he was. I'm not sure we're going to get that this time. I'm really not. You can choose one, a freeway title fight, or going to the Silverstone and Vegas Grand Prix. Okay, so I mean, I'm already going to Silverstone. So I feel like the weighting slightly changed here because I've already got tickets for that. But Vegas, that's going to be something special. That's going to be something really special. But if there's a freeway title fight, think of the views, okay? You know, if we have a really boring season like last year, you know, there's not a lot of views there. But if we have a freeway controversial title fight, there's going to be a lot more. And then, if I get loads of views, I can afford to go to Las Vegas. That's some logic there. I'm going to Austria. Yeah, okay, here we go, guys. So I imagine quite a few of you here are going to races this year. Which race are you going to? So I'm going to Silverstone. I would love to add a second race on top of that, but I think that's something I might do next year. I'd love to do... I might do Italy because I think... Well, one of my friends is moving out to Italy. So I might try to say to her, hey, do you want to do the Italian Grand Prix? As a complete excuse for me to go to what is like one of my favourite tracks. But it'll be under the guise of, hey, let's meet up because, you know, friends and so... No, I just want to watch a race. Sorry if you're watching as well. She might be watching this. Sorry. So Silverstone, Budapest. Okay, Subbot is out. Subbot it out. Oh, Subbot it, yeah. Less than 12 hours till testing. Let's go. Let's go. My God, this is so... I'm getting hyped for this now. I'm getting really hyped. Right, okay. While I'm hyped, let's do this that I was planning on doing. So we're not going to look at the Ferrari S-duct anymore. That was more than enough. We're going to be doing the rankings for what I think is going to end up being the Constructors' Championship this year. I'm going to work with you guys on this as well. I want to work with you guys. But we're going to construct what I think it's going to be. Are we all agreed that Williams are going to come last? I'm going to assume yes, without even looking at the chat on that one. I then would quite like to put... Okay, 9th is stumping me, because I think it's between... So let's do who it's between. We've got Alfa Romeo. We've got the Haas. That's the AlphaTauri. We've got the Haas. So I think that's those three. I think that's what those three will be. Okay, let's do it in three. Let's do it in threes, and then we'll decide the order afterwards. So then, 4th, 5th, and 6th will be between these. Yeah, so 4th, 5th, and 6th will be between McLaren, Alpine, and Aston Martin, in my opinion. And then... Oh, God. Okay, so I'm just going to put these guys up here, and we'll decide in a minute. Okay, so what have we got? Yes. Oh, we've got no. Yes, yes. If not, then Albon deserves a raise. Hey, do you remember me? Hello, Ashan. Yes, I do. I do. All of them because my dad works for Sky Sports F1. I mean, that's pretty good going, isn't it? If you want to invite me once or twice, you know, hook me up. Hey, there's a really good YouTuber I know who'd be a great broadcaster. I tell you, really good broadcaster. Think more like Alfa Romeo. Yeah, but I think a bad season for Alfa Romeo might be them finishing like 8th and 9th. You know, I'm not sure that'll put them last. I think Williams are sort of in the thick of it this year. 9th probably AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri surprise last. Alpine surprise. I don't think Alpine will come last. I think Alpine might be a surprise in this tab. You know, they might... I'm going to zoom in a bit because there's no reason for it to not be more zoomed in, really. I think Alpine could be a surprise sort of here or here-ish, but that's if they have a really bad year and keep crashing into each other and Alfa Romeo perform well. AlphaTauri, I don't think they have a chance. Okay, so I think because of the driver lineup, I'm going to put AlphaTauri 9th, Haas 8th, Alfa Romeo 7th. Do we agree with that, roughly? Obviously, like, we're not going to be able to all 100% agree on the exact order, but, like, really roughly, do we sort of agree with that? This is the moment when I realise the chat delay is actually really quite far, and I should change it to the ultra-low latency for the next stream. Alpine surprise last, AlphaTauri surprise... Right, I'm going to open up the chat tab and move it over here, because this is taking too long. Switch Haas and Alfa Romeo, I think. Watching racing trackside is boring. I've done it twice and never again the only way. Right, so, okay, I agree with you a little bit on that. What you need to do is I have this little iPod Nano thing, and if you plug in earphones to it, it works as a radio transceiver. So what I do, or radio receiver. So what I do is I listen to Radio Silverstone while at the track, like directly in my ear. If I didn't have that, I would hate it. Because everyone around, and I'm a guide for everyone sitting around me in like a 9-seat radius. I go like, oh, they said this on the radio, sort of thing, and everyone goes, oh, yeah. Because they all have no idea what's happening. If you go trackside, it's to chill with other people. Make sure, I mean, I've got to do, make sure we've got timing as well. Timing is really big to have. But the one problem I have with Silverstone is there's never any service. The bandwidth is just not big enough from the sort of local providers to get service, so it's awful. It's really awful. Paddock Club not pass. We have Paddock Pass tickets for Austria. It's pretty expensive. Yeah, I can imagine. But it's really cool. I went into I got a VIP paddock pass because I won a radio quiz on Radio Silverstone. Because of course I am, of superior F1 knowledge to everyone else. And yeah, I took one of my friends to that, and like my dad and his dad. It was good. It was so good. We did it during a session though. We missed the FP3 session. So I met Toto Wolff, Eddie Jordan, Ross Brawn. Had a chat with him. Great guy. Love a bit of Ross. And then there's a couple of other people as well. But yeah, that was really cool. If you ever, I know this is this is gonna come off really bad because I know like the vast majority of you won't. But if you ever get the chance in any way to try to get into the paddock, take it because like it's so good. You get free orange juice. Well, I couldn't drink at the time, so. I mean, I don't think I'd drink in the paddock anyway. I feel like an F1 paddock's too prestigious to drink. I don't want to do it. I hate to say this, but put McLaren in a top 3. Whoo! Whoo! I don't know why people are so optimistic for Aston Martin this year. Right, so I'll explain why. Someone in person in my uni class said this yesterday. Yesterday. So my reasoning for why I think Aston Martin they have to. I don't even think it's necessarily they will. I think it's they have to. They simply have to do better than they did last year. Because they've made a couple of really big coup signings in bringing over people from Mercedes, Red Bull, high up in their ranks. They made some really big signings there. Big money as well. And their effect, they're finally having their effect on the car. It's been about a year since they came in, meaning they've been working on this car. And, we can see with the really aggressive side pod, so big aggressive undercut on the side pod, very Red Bull-esque. It seems like they're sort of going down the Red Bull route, which is, one of the best cars on the grid at the moment. So, we'll see. But for me, with the money they've got, the staff they've got now, the resources that they're going to have, I think this year will be a jump. And then next year and the year after, they have to keep getting better for I've said this earlier in the stream, but for the next 3 to 4 years, they have to keep progressing. There has to be year-on-year progression, otherwise they're failing. That's it. I think Stroll might be holding them back. We might end up seeing Stroll sacked, but I mean, you'd think he has a lifelong contract, but at some point, Lawrence is going to go, oh, this isn't working. I could be winning F1 championships and my son's holding me back. What do you do in that situation? It's really rough. Now Aston Martin will flop because Alonso is there and he always finds worse. That's the thing. It's like by all logical accounts they should be doing better, but they've signed Alonso and that's sort of a death wish, isn't it? He's a great driver. He doesn't do anything wrong, but it somehow just goes wrong every single time. Dan Fallows is the only person Adrian Newey rates well. But yeah, Dan Fallows is a big one. He's a big one. And one of the Mercedes chiefs as well. Yeah. I bet McLaren got a top speed this year, so the high speed circuits are McLaren's favourite. But yeah, I mean, that Mercedes engine's got to see some improvement for that to be the case, because the Mercedes engine was a little bit weak. It was on the weaker side last year. I think that's what let them down quite a lot. Aston Martin that's what I mean. They've got to improve. That's what it's like. I don't want to sit here and say they're going to improve because we can't know that for sure. But like, they should improve. There's no reason they shouldn't. And I guess that's why they're rated a bit higher this year. I've heard people saying they could be like top 3 and like really high up. That's not going to happen. Guys, slow down here. That's not going to happen. But they've got to improve. Right. So I saw a couple of shouts to swap Alfa Romeo and Haas. What do we want to do here? Are we happy with AlphaTauri being down now, or do we swap AlphaTauri and Haas around? What do we want to do with this? What do we want to do? Have you seen him? Yeah. It's the McLaren video. I actually included that in the video. That's just when this stream ends, everyone go watch that video. Because I feel like a lot of what we've discussed today is actually sort of on there as well, but in a bit more detail, I think. Also, it took me like 8 hours to edit. It was really dumb. It took so much longer to edit than I thought it would. I've got a new editing style that I've been trying of like including clips and stuff. Which, as long as you don't tell a story with it, you'll avoid copyright. That's fine. FOM don't seem to care about that unless you're like uploading like an actual story sort of thing. So it's taking me ages to edit it, but it is sort of more engaging, and I don't really know if I want to stick down that route, because I feel like I'm more likely to get sort of burnout if I keep doing those sort of longer ones, especially when it's like I'm caring for the dog as well. But yeah, we'll see. I will watch. Yes. Very nice video, and indeed thank you. It took so long to make. What do you think about Mercedes pace in 2023? I think they have every possibility to improve, and work their way up the order again. But it's by no means guaranteed. No means guaranteed. I think by the end of I think it'll be similar development to like last year. It'll be a similar story. They start off relatively weak in the first couple of races. They were really weak in the first races of 2022. But I think we'll start the year sort of where we left off. That's my best guess. Assuming all the engine upgrade rates are fairly similar. I think we'll start off the season sort of where we left off. But Mercedes will outdevelop Ferrari and Red Bull. Will Ferrari outdevelop Red Bull with the wind tunnel reduction? Normally, I'd say Red Bull would outdevelop Ferrari, but like I say, Red Bull already have less wind tunnel time, and it's been reduced by another 10%. So I'm not sure about that. Almost 2 hours. Oh, God, yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm going to finish. I've got to eat food. I want to see the different innovation and flaws, side parts, etc., and maybe the power of the engines. I can't wait to see that. That's what I'm waiting out for. I sort of mentioned it in the video. That's what we have to look out for. In pre-season testing, that is what we have to look for. Ignore the times to an extent. We want the speed trap data. We want the flaws. We want the side pods. We want the engine modes, all of that sort of thing. That's what we want. That's what we want. And reliability, that'll be a big one. Really big point here is reliability, because the way I understand it, a lot of teams are going to be pushing quite hard in testing to sort of see where their limits are, because they've made quite a few changes from like last year. So that's what I understand, at least from bits I've heard. So reliability, massive one. Watch out for that. That's why it was number one in the video. Watch out for reliability, because it's going to say a lot about what's going to happen this year. Your opinion between Hamilton and Russell. Okay, so Hamilton, I think, will have a higher peak than Russell will ever have. Russell will not win 7 World Championships. This season, Russell has a very real chance of beating Lewis. That's my opinion on it. Because Lewis is getting older. He can't... Alonso, I'd say probably 5 years ago, he probably has a good 10th or something on where he is now. As you get older, you can't maintain the level. And I think Abu Dhabi 21 was so crushing for Lewis mentally. It's bound to have an effect. To put that much work into a season, for it to be that closely fought for that long over that many races to end the way it did, that's got to have an impact. So that's my opinion. If I had to say who wins this year, if Russell wins this year convincingly, I don't see a route for Hamilton to ever win a championship again. And I probably see him retiring at some point. I think Mercedes have the reliability, but we will see. What do you think about the aero... sorry, for God's sake. I'm reading this really small screen and I'm tired. What do you think about the zero pods? Look, it's still got the benefits it had last year. You've got that really tight package. You've got a good centre of gravity there. Can keep it really low as well, hopefully. Bit less drag, bit less weight. It's got the advantages it always had. However, and I say however, they have to fix all of the other problems with the car. The zero pods on face value should be beneficial, but I don't think we ever got the chance to really conclusively see if they were, just because of how much was wrong with that car last year. But yeah, that's what I think on those. Let's go back to the tier list. So we're going to move up. I haven't had any calls to change this, so I think we're in agreement. We'll go Haas 9th, AlphaTauri 8th. I think AlphaTauri have the worst lineup on the grid. I'm going to be brutally honest here. So I'm tempted to put them 9th, but I think their car might just be good enough to pick up some... No, I'm putting Haas above. No, I'm sorry. Nico Hülkenberg and Kevin Magnussen are going to pick up points. That's a good enough team to pick up points. I'm not sure Yuki Tsunoda and Nick De Vries is. That is the worst lineup on the grid for me. Like, flat out. Bottas, if he can pick up his form again, should be able to keep their Alfa Romeo around 7th, and if Zhou picks up some good points too. So let's move up here. I'm going to be controversial off the bat and say I don't think I want to change that from where I automatically put it. I think Ocon and Gasly will crash a few times. It's going to cost them points. Aston Martin may be able to be the beneficiaries from it on quite a few occasions. And I just think Norris and Piastri is too strong. I think Norris and Piastri might be too strong a lineup. I believe AlphaTauri will be in the 10th spot, whereas Williams will improve to 8th. They didn't have their technical director. They didn't have a team principal for ages. I just see Williams. I don't see it happening. Albon will pick up, I think, a couple of points. Not sure Sargent will get any points. I think you've got to be really special to get some points in that Williams car, or fairly special, because I won't call Albon really special, but you've got to be a good driver to get points in that car. Get some sleep. We have pre-season testing tomorrow. I know. And the thing is, I've got to wake up at like 5:30, so I'm going to go sleep soon. But we're going to finish this tier list. Aston will essentially replace Alpine at 5. Yeah, that's my thought as well. I think we might see some protests from Red Bull and Mercedes, mainly on their Ferrari car s-duct and front wing slot. Yeah, the front wing slot gaps I think are more controversial. Apparently the s-duct has been confirmed. Apparently. Lol, 2 hours. Oh god, it's 20 seconds. We can finish it. No, we're not going to do it in 20 seconds. We'll round off stream in the next like 5 minutes. Albon is quality. No, he is. He's a good driver. And that's what I mean. He's a good driver. He's not like a very special driver. You know, he's not in like that top Hamilton, Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz, Norris, Alonso sort of group. But he's around it. He's around the top 10. I'd say it's harsh that he's in that Williams car. I feel sorry for him because he could be doing better in the midfield. With respect to Ricciardo, what do you think? How long will it take Oscar to adapt to the car? I don't think very long, to be honest. I think Oscar's going to comfortably do better than Ricciardo did. I don't know what was wrong with Ricciardo, but it just didn't happen for him, did it? It just didn't happen. Right, so I'm not going to change any of those. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to put. I can't do a top 3. But we're going to, because that's the whole point. You guys voted Mercedes, but I'm gonna be honest. I think they'll finish second. I think it's between Ferrari and Red Bull. If Ferrari's engine issues really get sorted and Red Bull suffer from the lack of development, then I think it could be that way round. If Red Bull have a really good car at the start of the year, pick up loads of points, then I think it's gonna be this way round. I just feel like Mercedes is gonna finish second because their driver lineup I think boosts them to second, no matter which scenario happens between these two. What do you guys think? I wanna hear thoughts on this one. This one I really want to hear thoughts on. Do it in the night garden tier list. I mean, fair, yeah. By the way, we got to do double shoey at 12k. Oh, I forgot about the shoey. Okay, 12k we'll do double shoey. Oh, God. We'll do a booty. I shouldn't be laughing at that, but I've been awake like. Yeah, I've been awake for about 13 hours now, so I'm gone. It's pretty tight. I know, I agree, it's pretty tight. Merc first, Red Bull last. Should we in pre-season testing? Okay, maybe on like the Saturday. So yeah, guys, for people who like maybe think I'm gonna be able to stream all of pre-season testing, I can't. I'm in my second year of uni now. The grades actually matter, so I'm actually trying. As opposed to last year where I just missed sessions left, right and centre because I'm like, I'll get 40%, it's fine. Yeah, so I actually have to try this year because, yeah, like I say, grades matter. So Thursday morning, I'm in uni. I come back in the afternoon, so I'll be able to do maybe the afternoon session if the puppy falls asleep at the right time. Oh, yeah, I've got a puppy as well, if anyone didn't know that. So I might be able to do like the last 2-3 hours of the afternoon session if the puppy falls asleep at the right time. Friday, flat out, can't do any of it. I'm at uni from 8 o'clock in the morning. Well, I leave my house at about 6:30, 6:50 time. I'm at uni at 8 o'clock all the way until about 5 o'clock in the evening. So that won't happen because I'm just in uni too long. So we're going to try. I'm not sure I'll be able to watch it. I'll find a way. We're allowed to just watch stuff. That's how lectures work. We can just put on whatever we want. But Saturday, I will stream as much of that as I can. I will try to get as much streaming as I can in on Saturday. This year they will test the lights. They will test the lights out. Oh god, last year that was horrific, wasn't it? That was so. We were sitting there going, "Oh my god, yeah, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get the start procedure. We're gonna get practice." Oh god, it didn't work. And then I had to like restart it 3 times. Which I don't want to dox myself, you see, because I've already said what course I'm on, so I don't want to dox myself. So I'm not gonna disclose that info. If I hadn't said what course I'm on, I might disclose it, but I'm not giving both out. That's I'm doing automotive engineering. That's my course. This is almost a reboot season for Ferrari. Yeah, no, I agree with you. there. Because with a new team principals, oh god, I don't know. I can see it being that. I can see it being this. Like if I was betting and someone made me like create a top 10 and said, "Here's a 5 that you have to put money on it," this would be my top 10 order. But it's so close for me between this and that happening. I think Mercedes are just going to come second. I think they'll outdevelop both of the ones ahead, and they'll just pick off which one isn't the stronger between Ferrari and Red Bull. That's tricky. I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to stick with that. I think. Do I stick with it? I'm going to stick with it. I have also planned on doing the driver predictions as well. Yeah, I'd also plan on doing that, but we're going to save that for future stream because otherwise, oh god, we could be streaming for another 3 hours if we have to go through to 20 drivers. I've gone into a lot more detail on all of this than I thought I would, so that could be our future stream. That will be a future stream after pre-season testing. We can do the drivers. I think maybe between Ferrari and Red Bull, I will choose Red Bull, but just by slim margin, seeing Ferrari team principal change it. Yeah, that's all my fault. So with a team principal change as well, it makes it a little bit harder. Well, auto engineering, I wish you'd go into F1 in the future. I mean, I'd love to. I would love to. That's probably like my first... That's like my priority thing to apply for, but if not, I'm just going to work for like some Ministry of Defense company and just make loads of money making missiles, because that's cool. Everyone likes a missile. As long as you don't get hit by one, you're alright. Fred says like the Todd of Ferrari. Yeah. Bradley, please go see. Yeah, I've got to. I mean, if you can't tell, I'm losing it mentally, to be honest. I love these streams, though. I really get into them. It's like, first half hour, you're like building up to it, and you're like, oh, what's it going to be like today? And then I just get into it. I can just talk for hours. I'm so bad. But Mercedes forever. Mini drivers P1, mini bikers P2, mini drivers part. Yeah, there you go. History points to signs. Just saying. Does it? I'm really interested to hear the stat that sort of shows that. I wanna know. But yeah, I mean, Jeremy, apart from that, I think we're going to sort of round off the stream. Yeah, go sleep tomorrow. It's pre-season testing. Finally, cars are trying. I'm going to watch the whole thing. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to listen to the audio while driving to university tomorrow. So I'm going to miss the first cars going out, which is a bit annoying. But then I'm going to be able to watch like the whole rest of the day, so it's not too bad. I can't wait. We're getting 8.5 hours of track action for the next 3 days. That's 25.5 hours of F1 after like months of none of it. See, this is really good because I wasn't that hyped for this season. I've done this stream and now I'm really hyped for it. So this what these streams keep me interested in Formula One. That's what these are mainly like the priority at least now. Perez or Ricciardo? Perez. Ricciardo's been pretty trash last 2 years, if we're being honest. As a McLaren fan, I wanted him to do well, but boy, oh boy. Do you watch mini drivers nowadays? I don't really. I'm not into bike racing. It's never appealed to me as much. I like my singles, but I think it's because I like the technical aspect of Formula One. I think that's why. I really like the technical aspect of the cars. I guess that's why I like Indy more than NASCAR. It's just like single seaters. I just go, oh, I like them. Appreciate your live broadcast. Thank you so much. Don't go, I'm enjoying your broadcast. Thank you. Made my day responding to my question. No worries at all. That's what we do here. I know a lot of other streamers, and that's why I like to stream in the way that I want live streamers to like interact, which is a lot. You know, the whole thing of this is you guys ask questions, I answer them with my knowledge, which I believe to be quite good because I'm like obsessed with the sport. So that's the whole point. I tried to do it in the most entertaining way, try to explain it as well as possible. It's like history mirroring. After a 7-time champ gets crowned, you get a new double world champ and then a Ferrari. Can't remember why it's signed. Oh, okay. Yes, there's an extra bit there. That's cool though. I like that set. And Ferrari could win it this year, you know. I can't wait for all the different cars in the night. Go for it. I know. Sing the mini. I don't know the mini driver's intro. I don't know it. Yeah, thanks for responding to all my questions. Very helpful. We'll see you tomorrow, maybe. Yes, maybe see you guys tomorrow. I hope I can get like a 2-3 hour stream in if the puppy falls asleep at the right time. I'll try to sort of work the times so that she does fall asleep. And then maybe at the end of the stream, I'll go get her and we can, you know, because she'll probably wake up around the end of it and I'll show you her maybe. But yeah. Yeah, guys, thank you so much. Really good stream. And yeah, thank you guys for keeping the chat going because trust me, I didn't have a running order for this stream, so if the chat wasn't going, we'd be sitting here in silence. So thank you so much, guys, for, you know, asking questions, sort of, you know, shaping the direction of the stream. 100% go live. I'll try. I'll give it a go. It would be pretty sick to see a freeway championship. I agree. Bye-bye. Brad, which MotoGP rider do you know? Valentino Rossi, there's the Spanish guy. What's the Spanish guy called? Shit. Sorry, I didn't swear on stream. What's his name? It's got C in it. Has it got C in it? Let's stop the stream before this gets more embarrassing. Mark Marquez. Yeah. Zarko, I've heard of Zarko as well. I've seen him on Twitter. But I hope to see him pre-testing tomorrow. Yeah. Like I said, I hope I can get the stream going. But like if it doesn't, that's why. Like I'll just tell you guys that's why, because the dog's doing something. So yeah. I'm getting up early tomorrow. I'm gonna get some food. I hope you all have a great night, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Because I appreciate we have a lot of different time zones going along. So yeah. Quattro! Yes, I know him. Good luck at uni, thank you so much. Friday's the one I'm going to need luck for, because that is a boring day. I'd say that was a really boring day. Good luck, mate. Thank you so much, guys. And yeah, until next time, guys. British over here. Nice, like it. Yeah. Average view time, 5 minutes. Well done, guys. You've really stuck with it. Don't know what's happening. See you guys. How do I end a stream? I've forgotten. Okay, this is bad. I haven't streamed in so long. Do I press the end stream button up there first, or do I close it on OBS first? This is why you don't take several months away from streaming. I think I press end stream. Okay, I'm going to press end stream in 3, 2, 1. Then there's a confirmation. Of course, there's confirmation as well. Bye, guys.